Let's go. line. Go, go, go.
Good evening, party people. And welcome
Simrigs
to...
Sprint
he's
Series
back.
of ACC. Oh,
Go.
Neil is here. Sorry.
That's
Go.
all right, mate. Go for it.
I didn't know you were here. Sorry. Welcome back to Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series Season 12. We are at Paul Ricard for round 1 of the Asia Pacific Sprint Series. We are watching Split Blue. I am joined by Josh Breen and Neil Alexander. How are we, lads?
Good, good. And it's looking like we've got a bit of rain for quali here.
Well, that should spice things up ever so slightly. Oh, that is certainly moist.
Yeah, track is currently damp, 16 degrees track and air temp, so will be interesting. It will be drying out, but it is only 10-minute quali for Super Sprint, so I think everyone will probably go on wets for quali, surely.
Yeah, I think the first runs will be under wet tires, but as the track is damp, it should go to greasy before the end. I think this is all going to be about who's brave enough to go on those dries the quickest and manage to get the last lap in.
Yeah, exactly. Like the last person to sort of start their flying lap, who can keep it within the track limits, will be in a good position for putting it near the front of the grid.
Yep, exactly. It should be some fascinating racing. We had some exciting racing last night. A fair few incidents, hopefully slightly less incidentful last night. Potential for safety car seems to be fairly high, but let's see if Split Blue can deliver on a safety car free race. What do we reckon are the chances of that?
Yeah, it's hard to say until we see what the race conditions will be like, but I don't know. I think if it's wet, everyone will be super careful, but I don't know. First race of the season, I think, for this split at least, high chance of safety car for sure.
Sure, and as we look at the field that we have here, it's I think we have two pretty much standout drivers, and then a couple of drivers who will be competing for those podium positions. We have Matt Lamb and Paul Brett, who are both very, very close to that much vaunted alien ranking. And then we have quite a few pros who are definitely going to put up a very, very spicy fight for the rest of the podium, given if Matt Lamb and Paul Brett don't mysteriously combust on their own. So yeah, I think we're in for some good racing, and we have a very big Pro-Am field, so that should be a very competitive battle as well. Quite a few quick guys and guys who have raced together quite a lot. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, no, I think we're in for a treat here tonight. It should be a ripper. And the rain has stopped. The track and air have both gone up 1 degree, and yeah, no one has set a valid lap yet, but just 7 minutes to go, so we should be seeing some flying laps here any second.
The Matt Lamb is on a valid lap at the moment, but we have a couple of cars behind that are on valid laps so far. Ooh, as you can see, Porsche getting more. That's Porsche in Paul Ricard things, I would say. Quite a slippery little corner that, as you can see there, drifts off and invalidates that lap, unfortunately.
Just
but
out of track limits.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, certain cars perform significantly better in the rain. Say the BMW and the Aston, certainly your strongest choices in the rain.
For sure, as we jump on with Gibbo going down the straight in his snow camo BMW. It's definitely a standout livery. Lots of cool liveries now with the new livery bot JP, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see. That is the MRT Mobile, I think. Definitely, it's a design choice. I'll say that.
It's a standout.
I know you said they were nice liveries. I'm not 100% sure if this is one of those, but it's certainly memorable. That's how I would say it. And then as we are winding up qualifying, just to say hi to everybody in chat, all the usual names, Craig Dale, Jan Tully, Callum All Day, Swampy Butt, the usuals, Megan D, Diables, Bilko, Triple T, as we see Paul Britt there sets the first lap time at a 2:01. We have Brad McDonald very close behind him with a 2:05.
First in Pro-Am though. so not bad. Another
Yeah.
Ferrari shoots up Vidiger to P2 overall with a 2.0.5, so nice job there.
So yeah, it's quite tricky with this. I mean, 10 minutes is not a long time for qualifying, especially considering a lap is in the dry, sort of low to mid 50. In the wet, as we can see there, fastest lap of a 2-minute flat, basically. So not a lot of time. You're gonna get maybe 4 runs or 4 laps if you're lucky. So very important to make sure that you get at least a good banker in. Something I definitely failed to do last night. But yeah, tricky to find a gap. It's quite a lot of cars. I'm not sure how many we have in the server. It's 34 on the leaderboard there. So stacked full grid. Need to get some space. That is quite a nice livery. Defa Racing with the angry goose or quacking quick. Nice. I do like a purple livery, so always happy to see one of them.
Yeah, so it's looking like almost half the field have now got their bank laps in. Brad McDonald dropped back to 15th, Barrelon up to P2 with the 201.3, Gibbo currently P3, J-Rad sitting down in P8 overall, so lots of people looking to make a name for themselves tonight in race 1.
And we saw Matt Lamb there move up to P1 with a 2-minute flat .05. So I think we'll see those times come tumbling down. It doesn't appear. I think the track might just go greasy for maybe the last lap or so. So this is essential to get that timing just perfect on the starting time of that final lap. As you said earlier, that will be the deciding factor of who could potentially take this pole position here.
Yeah, and that nasty little puddle that just sits there waiting to catch people out in the final sector there, JP. Does that give you flashbacks to the 2022 Enduro here?
Oh, you mean the pedal that I spun twice and got flat spots? That one? Yes. No, I remember that one. It's
fun memories, eh?
took me about 2 hours to figure it out. Hopefully these guys can figure it out a little bit quicker than I did. But yeah, it certainly adds a bit of spiciness to an already tricky section. So it definitely doesn't need it, but it is quite a nice addition.
Jump on with Stacy here down the straight. Let's see what sort of speed the AMG is capable of. When I ran this car here a couple of seasons ago, I found 6 wing was sort of a good sweet spot, but it wasn't particularly fast on the straights, but it also wasn't that good in the sectors. More corner related, but then that could also have been my driving, but it's looking like he could be on for an alright lap here currently.
I think it's one of the Mercedes' strongest tracks as such. Ooh, as that blue might pull him off there, manages to keep it within the lines there. So should still be able to be valid and have enough time for one more lap. But yeah, I don't think the Merc, based on what we saw last night as well, it's not the quickest car in the straight line. We saw there you got 276. Obviously it's wet, so you don't get the best run onto the straight. But yeah, I don't think it's not a track where the AMG really shines. So if he can put it up near that top 5 there, that would be a fairly good showing from him in this qualifying session.
Yeah, and off to Brands Hatch next week as well, which is sort of another Porsche Honda track predominantly. What else would you say is good there? Aston probably is quite good.
Aston is good there. I mean, the McLaren is very strong at Brands Hatch still. And the BMW is good there. It's quite a fairly competitive track actually. I think because it's not a particularly varying track. It's mostly mid-high speed corners, so all the cars are fairly competitive. But yeah, based on we did some LFM races a couple of weeks ago when it was there, and it was a fairly mixed grid. But surely, if you're in a Porsche or in a McLaren, you'll be wanting to be near the top of the field.
Such a hard track to pass on too in comparison to Paul Ricard. Like Paul Ricard really does put it on in terms of the passings. Yeah,
I mean Paul Ricard versus Brands Hatch in terms of overtaking, that's like pre-DRS Formula 1 versus with DRS Formula 1. You know, it's just nearly impossible to overtake there unless you're 4 or 5 seconds lap faster than somebody ahead of you, or they make a mistake. You see Barrelon here across the line. Will he move up? He does not move up. He still stays in P6, but he has timed it well. Big trainer car there behind him who are all going to start their lap, but they are very close to each other, which is not going to really allow them much space to get a lap together. And Wilco Preciado, I think he will be the first one to officially end this qualifying session. Let's see what he is able to put on the board. He's 2.7 seconds off the pace at the moment. He moves up to P7 and improves by 1.6 seconds as the track has officially gone greasy. So those guys who just started their laps have absolutely nailed the timing on this.
Yeah, Gibbo just keeping it within track limits there. Let's see what he can do. He's up on the delta, so looking for a mid 200. Could be a few people dipping into the 59s. In fact, Robert Maddox.
Very nice Mad Dog there with a 1:59, first person into the 59s as well.
Matt Lamb just behind, but still on a lap, so.
You see Gibbo here coming around a final corner. Can he nail the exit here? Not the best of exits, loses a little bit of time, but he will improve by about half a second, which should move him up one position. Not quite enough at the end there, just 2/100ths in it. Not quite enough to get ahead of Edgar. Matt Lamb here is 3/10 up. That should be enough to put him ahead of Maddox if he can maintain that delta through the last corner here. 3/10 up still. Gets it nice and close to the apex. Not the best of exits. He's losing a little bit on the exit there. He's still 2/10 up. Will the ACC delta balk him at the end there? And he takes it by 3/100ths. Matthew Lamb on pole.
Yeah, not much in it, but will be a lot to sort of digest here at turn 1. Once we have had our full formation lap at the commencement of the race.
Yep, as we see Barrel on here crosses the line, he improves to P6, quite tight there, a couple of last cars coming around the track. Kidman wants to get on the board, he has yet to do a valid lap, and he does a 2:04.175, puts him in P28. And Steve Crossland crosses in P18. In that lovely monster livery, and it is raining again.
Oh, quite
and it's
medium rain, yeah.
Medium rain to light rain, so it probably won't dry out towards the end of the rain, so it's going to be raining for all of it, so you're starting on the wets here. But that is certainly going to add a fair chunk of excitement to lap 1 shenanigans here.
Yeah, for sure, and it's not actually that cold. 18 air and 20 track temps. So when it does go to light rain in 10 minutes time, because keep in mind we're going to do a full formation lap, you don't want to be starting on too high wet pressures because they will warm up pretty quick as the dry line sort of starts to form.
And of course, as we know with the ACC weather widget, that thing, we're not 100% sure when that medium rain would have started, so there's every chance that that medium rain could end in the next minute or so. And then we have light rain for 10 minutes, and then it dries out. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the conditions develop. And as we go through the field here to have a look at some of these custom liveries, Matthew Lamb with the zero effort strategy. Robert Maddox with his Animaniacs Audi livery, quite a nice one, Audi Maniacs as he calls it. With the Kovacs logos there. Beautiful arrow livery from Corporate as well. Yeah, stunning.
And Mr. Vidiker, it looks quite basic. I don't know if his livery has uploaded for that one, but...
Yeah, it seems as though it may have missed the upload there. It seems like a custom livery. The Mobile, definitely a nice one. Vidiker with a in-game livery. And that is quite a nice one there from Vidiker. Drive to Survive. Chris Stacey with the Speedy Might Racing colors. Always like to see that.
Preciado there, sitting in P9, and Sean Bubb now.
I'll with a Reaper livery there, it's quite nicely done as well. Great performance there by Bubb now as well. Of course, he almost won the championship last season. Is that a Transformers livery? Yep,
it's got flames on it, so it should go faster, right? That's how it works.
Definitely, yeah, that's technically how it works. See Gunther Rowe there. A Rowe Racing livery, beautiful stuff there. John Stockton with his Stop Abuse livery, great to see for a good cause there. The Milk livery from Mr. Cornboy himself, great little tribute livery.
And then McClaw's there on our right, and Steve Crossland with the monster Mercedes, car number 43. Malloy 255, T-Max. So we have two McDonald's in Ferraris tonight, and Sean Muller with the beautiful McLaren livery there. Really good job on that. We have J Rad, car number 9, debuting in the Aston for season 12 of Sprints. Also have Lawrence here.
What is that livery?
Sorry, that's Van Dam, not Lawrence. I love that Coca-Cola Porsche.
Yeah,
Looks
that's
fantastic.
awesome. Chrome livery. I know. Mole is a big fan of chrome liveries, so I'm sure he's appreciating that. See the last couple here.
Mercedes, Brad McDonald, and then Horsel. That rain doesn't look as though it's gotten any lighter just yet, so...
No, I think they might be starting in these wet conditions, so that's gonna be, gonna be interesting. I mean, we have an Audi on the front row, and anybody who's ever started next to an Audi knows that it is ahead of you by turn 1, regardless of what you do. So it should be interesting. If he can nail this start, he can put some pressure on Lamb to have to make an overtake. And Porsche, not exactly known for its straight line speed. So that would be interesting to see if Maddox is able to get ahead and then potentially defend against Lamb.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone's increased their rear wing with just the 20-minute race. You could potentially get some gain out of doing that, because it's not like an hour race, so we know it's going to be wet for the whole thing. I wonder if anyone has actually slightly increased their wing for this one or not.
Yeah, it's certainly an option. Me knowing nothing about setups, I don't mess around with it. If it's wet, I add a couple of clicks of traction control, and that's about my setup knowledge. So, yeah, but Matt Lamb, Maddox, and Paul Britt, those type of guys, they know a little bit more about setups and would certainly be able to make those adjustments. But as we can see, the rain is dry in 10 minutes now. So I think we will have light rain probably, I would say maybe 7 or 8 minutes into this race. So it will be dry towards the end, or drying out, no rain, but the track will remain wet most likely, especially considering the slightly colder temperatures. Is the safety car having a day off, Mole, or is he just...
I see Brad McDonald's just parked in Sector 1 for some reason. I don't know if he's having a technical difficulty or what's going on there.
I don't know, people always say that Paul Ricard is a parking lot. Maybe he's taking that a bit literally, but hopefully he can get moving again.
Oh, he is moving just as we speak, so...
I think the safety car driver must be Samwise.
But I'm unfamiliar. Samwise has been sleeping for, what's it now, 4 days, Mole? Is he on his 4th day now? Yep.
Hell of an enduro.
So if you guys can excuse us if we don't get too excited, too loud, we don't want to disturb Samwise during his peaceful slumber. But yeah, hopefully he awakes well rested. Because if he doesn't, then I don't know how much sleep is necessary for the human body to feel well rested.
Yeah, it's almost sounding like he's slipped into a coma at this point.
Sure. As they come around into the final sector here, we have Matt Lamb on pole, we have Rob Maddox in P2, Paul Britt P3, Joshua Vettiger on P4, Callum Gibbons in P5, Barrel on P6, Vettiger, Stacey, Apreciado, and Bob now round out the top 10 as Split Blue is about to get their Season 12 of Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series underway. I'm going to give this first one to you, Joshy. Can you take us away for the start of Split Blue?
Absolutely. We come around the final corner. Matt Lamb draws the field up with them, maintaining 80 kilometers an hour. We do have one car starting from pit lane, Lewis. Ferrari must have been a late joiner. And we're sitting here waiting for the lights to go green any second now as we cross the line.
Green light.
And we are away up to turn 1. Lots of rain. Hopefully everyone's just being careful. We want to get through turn 1 and ideally turn 2 carefully. Looks like Robert Maddox is ready to slot in behind. Nicely done by the front of the pack at least. Mid-pack looks pretty good as well. Gunther Rowe there in the BMW. Sitting in P12. Tucks in behind, I believe that is Vettiger. I'm unsure which one, as we have a couple of them in this split. Deep on the brakes. A little spin there. Gunther Rowe goes around backwards, but so far everyone else looks to have been pretty good. Unfortunate for Gunther there. JP.
Yeah, I think that was Reed in the Merc, if I'm not mistaken, it looked like, I'm not quite sure, but just obviously misjudging his braking ever so slightly and just tapping Gunther on the rear. But it seems as though the top 10, top 12 has gotten away quite nicely here. We see Callum Gibbo coming under a little bit of pressure here from Noski. Sean Bob now got a good run out of Sector 1. I'm not sure if Gibbo got the best run.
Yeah, and last night in our split, last night was a night to forget in my circumstance, but I know the stewards were saying lap 1 penalties will be harsher this season, which I think is a great change because it just makes sure everyone gets an equal and fair start, and especially a rear bumper. So we could see a 15 or even a drive-through potentially, depending on how the stewards are feeling about that one. But unfortunately,
looks as though we do have a safety car. They are going a little bit slowly. I'm not sure if there was a big incident that we may have missed. But yeah, safety car has been called. So they almost made it through one lap without the safety car, which was close. But yeah, unfortunately, there may have been something that we did not get on the stream. So hopefully we can get a quick little replay of what has caused this. But yeah, so far not too much changes in the top 10. I would say Matt Lamb, Maddox, Vettiger, Barrelon, Stacy, Britt seems to have lost out a little bit. He dropped 3 positions. Gibbo didn't have the best of starts. Bub now, Vettiger, Stugden is your top 10 at the moment. Currently Jamie Conboy sitting on that reverse grid pole. But there may be some incidents to come yet.
Here we jump on with the replay to see what happened to Gunther here. And he tucks in behind Vettiger as we saw before. And is that Appreciado there, JP? Just a little late on the brakes and misjudged his function.
Yeah, it's so easy to, even in the dry, it's easy to misjudge your braking there, and in the wet, doubly so. So nothing intentional there, just
no, not at all, yeah.
Like little mistake, but unfortunately Gunther pays the price. But we will see the stewards get out their big stick, most likely. And Appreciado will definitely get a visit from them. But the rest of the field seems to be continuing fairly safely.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, probably not a lot of damage in that one. Like, might pop into the pits and repair it, but doesn't look as though he has.
No, as we see, it looks like car 344 in the pits, and maybe one other car. I can't exactly see. If we get another replay here, this is the end of Sector 1. Coming onto the straight, somebody rejoining there rather slowly. It might be Ricard.
Oh,
and
there we go.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, and
Poor Gunther gets involved again as he's trying to avoid some drama. And Brad McDonald, starting from the pit lane, or from last, he makes up 5 positions for free. So he'll be happy about that. But yeah, that was quite a substantial incident there. Just a nose being in the wrong place, unfortunately, and doors getting shut.
Look at that onboard just driving through. That's really funny. And just checked in that car 344 from the pits is Morris, so he might have just joined slightly late, but he'll be ready for race 2, I'm sure.
Yep, he should be able to get in there, waiting for those controls to unlock, maybe get out on track before the safety car gets around there.
Yeah, hopefully he puts on wets.
Yeah, that would be a good decision, as I suspect the virtual safety car will be ending. So Matt Lamb is taking control of this as they come into the final little sector here. Slow the car down to 80 kilometers an hour, punch up the rest of the field, and then it's up to him from this final corner when he decides to go. And then Mr. Maddox needs to decide how quickly he wants to get onto the back of him. And see if he gets caught sleeping here. Matt Lamb hasn't gone yet, knowing that that Porsche is a little bit limited, and he goes. Maddox reacts fairly quickly there, but Lamb did get a little bit of a jump. Good reactions by Maddox though.
Quite the gap back to Stacy though, in P5, but up to turn 1 we go for the second racing lap at least, and it looks like everyone's making it through there nice and clean. You don't want to take too much of those curbs in the wet, and just should be fine on track limits for a 20-minute race, but looks pretty good on the mini-map so far, JP.
Yeah, no yellows popping at the moment. We saw the 2 Ferraris there in P3 and 4 both got good starts. Stacey has closed back up to the rear of Barrelon there, and he has Paul Britt for company not too far behind him as well, with Gibbons in P7 just behind this little train here. So Maddock is fairly close to Matt Lamb here. He should be able to potentially get a run down the straight, although Matt Lamb has nailed that exit. Maddock's had a pretty poor exit. Now he is under pressure from Vettiger. Not too far behind him. Stacy putting pressure on Barrelon as well. Let's see if that Merc top speed is enough. And we will see whether the Ferrari has the legs. The Ferrari is very quick in a straight line here. And he moves out of that slipstream towards the inside. Maddox hasn't covered all the way, so he gave him the space. Vettiger puts it up the inside. Maddox moves to the outside, side by side in the wet. Cruise Science is a brave choice, but they both make it through safely. Maddox trying for the little cutback, but can't manage it. But Barrelon gets on that curb, and the Ferrari says, no thank you, I would rather go and visit a wall. And he is off. Unfortunately, nobody else caught up in that incident.
No, that's unfortunate for Barrelon, but hopefully we see a safe rejoin as we check in with Stacy here, and Paul Britt not far behind, sitting in P6. So we come around into Sector 3.
Yeah, so Britt will be happy about that. He's trying to recover back up to P3, P2, as he had a bit of a poor qualifying showing there, and Barrelon making it a little bit easier, giving him that free position.
Yeah, and it's quite incredible how many different lines you can take through Paul Ricard too. Hey, like obviously in the wet you're slightly more limited for choice, but I noticed last night lots of different ways, especially Sector 3 to take corners, and they all sort of equate to a similar time.
Yeah, for sure. As we see, Vettiger has gotten past Maddox there up into P2 as well. Not sure if Maddox made a small mistake coming into Sector 3, but Vettiger is through. Maddox down to P3. He will be getting some pressure from behind from Chris Stacey in the Merc behind him, sorry, not a BMW. And yeah, currently we have Zach Malloy sitting on reverse grid pole, only 12 minutes remaining in this race. So there's still a lot that could happen, but we'll be looking to keep a hold of that position for sure. Jamie Convoy.
And the rain has stopped, JP, so 12 minutes to go, so we will probably see, not this lap, but in a couple laps time, people will be going offline to keep those tyres down around the 30, 31 PSI mark, so that could be interesting.
This is one of those races where you will be ending the race on 39 PSI bright red balloons, just trying to keep it on track. As we see Sagden here behind Ashley Vettiger. Moves out of the slipstream, got a good run onto the straight now. It's Aston versus Aston, who is running more wing. It appears as though they are running fairly similar wings. He's not exactly pulling past them. Vettiger pulls ahead a little bit again. Will he leave the nose in? No, he pulls out of it. That might compromise Convoy a little bit. As you can see, Convoy had to get out of it ever so slightly. Sugden runs quite wide and manages to pull it in. Everybody survives, and we keep going.
Yep, and fastest lap of the race so far is a 2:01.6 by, who would you guess, but Matty Lamb and P1. Oh, and that's just a replay.
Yep, that is just Ferrari curb things, unfortunately.
Yeah. Be interesting to see how much better the 296 will be when it's added into the game. Hopefully, I mean, surely it couldn't get much worse than the 488, right?
No, I don't think so. As you see there, Maddox under a lot of pressure from Stacey into that final sector. Paul Britt right behind them as well. He'll be looking to capitalize on anything that could happen from the potential fight that seems as though it's about to ensue. Stacey definitely piling under pressure. Britt just making that McLaren a little bit wider in the rearview mirror there.
That was pretty close.
Yeah, as you said earlier, there's so many different lines you can take around here, and that's what makes it a good racetrack. I don't like hot lapping around here, but it's a good racetrack because of that.
A little bit of
ascent. He manages to save it. Stacey cuts across the track. Whoa, Sugden gets a little tap up the rear from Convoy there. Manages to save it. Everybody is keeping fairly safe. Very close by Vettiger there. Free wide into the hairpin. Wouldn't recommend it, but they managed to somehow make it work. See Kieran Reid also pop in there. A little bit of door banging there between the Aston and the Mercedes. Nobody has gone off yet. Everybody is surviving, and onto the back straight we go. Chad Sugden up the inside of a McLaren of, I think it's McLaws there. Some great action, a little bit of door banging, but it happens in GT3 racing. Let's see what this McLaren can do against the Aston down the straight.
Nice little train we got going down this big old straight, JP, and that Vettiger is closing in. Does he tuck the nose up? I think he might just get up there. Oh, drops back. And they all make it around nice and cleanly, and he's got the run now as we see the McLaren goes off to the left. 3 wide. Oh, and he catches it.
Convoy.
What car control that was there.
Great save there, Convoy. Very fortunate to just get around the outside of that incident, not getting collected. Small little touch would have sent them around there, but this little battle pack here is certainly giving each other all they got, and quite a bit of contact, but nothing too egregious yet. As we see, Wilco Briciado has received a 15-second penalty, so that seems fair for what we saw on lap 1.
Yeah, as we come around to the final corner here, jump back on with Vidiger in P2. I did see Paul Brett did reduce the position to Stacey after the door bang, heading onto the couple corners before the straight, and he managed to get him a few turns later. So yeah, Paul Brett up to P4 now. So.
Yeah, that's good. Maddox is still ahead of him, and he'll be facing some pressure from Brett soon, I'm sure. But this little pack here between Reed and Crossland, McLaw is right on the back there in reverse grid pole. Vidiger towards the front of it. Everybody here is just shuffling and juggling for position. One small mistake in this type of battle pack will cost you 3-4 positions, so it's essential to be careful while being fast, which is quite tricky.
Yeah, you just want to try and capitalize on this exit as they come onto the main straight. Try and drive it square, nice and straight off the corners. Not too much curve because it will be a bit slippery, and it looks like Steve Crossland may have a little bit of run on the Mercedes in front, which is Reed. So just tucking in behind, and all you can do is really just hold that pedal there and just hope you can fly on past, as we see Steve Crossland doing. Look at the speed.
He must be running a little bit lower wing than Reed is running there, because that was fairly effortless getting through there.
Yeah, the Mercedes, it's surprising. It has quite the top speed, but it really does need a tow on this track to get it. So sort of the same at Bathurst as you come down into the chase. It's quite incredible how much faster with a tow it can be.
Yeah, the Aston here was really, we were doing 279 without a tow and 282 with a tow, so it didn't really gain very much when you were in a tow. And we see another little battle pack here. John Stockton, Sean Muller, Robert Wenzel, Alex Balleron. He's trying to recover after his incident there. Yeah, little spicy battle pack developing here. Paul Britt with the fastest lap as he is chasing down Robert Maddox there for P3 as well. Hopefully we can avoid any incidents in this pack. It's a very, very big group of cars. You see side by side there.
See a drive through for car number 8 too, JP. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No worries, it's Tom McDonald, so I'm not sure what the cause is there. We don't have Mr. Firelord in chat giving us updates at the moment, so hopefully we can, somebody else can give us a bit of information there as we see. Ooh, big send there by Wilco Briciado into turn 1 on Dickinson, but he makes it stick. Fair move, harsh but rough or tough racing, but very fair, and well judged there by Dickinson as well, not to turn in too much when there was a car on the inside.
Yeah, just 5.5 minutes to go, so we'll probably see
Stacey with a drive through there.
Oof, and I see a stop go as well.
So Stacey, I'm not sure, I did not see him get involved in any incident, so I'm assuming that may be for track limits. So that is definitely going to hurt his race 1. He's been running very well up in P5, putting pressure on the guy ahead. So that's definitely going to be a bitter pill to swallow for him there.
Yeah, it almost, because you have 3 laps to serve it, he might not actually serve it and just get the plus 30 seconds. Potentially could be slightly beneficial to do that. How many laps are we going to have left? 3, right?
Yeah, well, if he's gotten it on this lap, so they're crossing the line, there will be 3 more laps, I think.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, but he may or may not serve it.
I think it would be 1 lap too late, so he would need to serve it, I think. Again, this battle here for reverse grid pole, we have Ettinger, we have Crossland, we have McLaws, we have Chad Sutton currently sitting in that reverse grid pole. Everybody jostling for position. Reed and Rad has dropped off the back of that pack a little bit. Rad piling the pressure onto Reed there, and Sean Hartz has decided to park it up after getting a stop go 30. I'm assuming there was a rather serious incident causing that, so may have known that it's a race over for him. We see Lazy serve that drive through that he got for track limits. Oh, that's very wide by Suckton there. Might allow Reed to get past if he can benefit. No, he's not quite close enough.
J-Rad is right on him. He's looking to get a move done, and you can see the track is for sure drying out now. And he sends it very deep. Doesn't get it pulled up, just keeps it within track limits. So pretty ambitious send, but he managed to get it done. So plenty of room left there by Reed, but it isn't over yet. Reed sticks the nose up the inside, too wide, and J-Rad just can't keep it on the track there. He'll tuck back in, but he might... Ooh, how's his exit there? J-Rad might lose a second position here, as we see another Aston on Aston battle down the straight. A lot of Astons in this split, JP.
See, there's quite a lot of Astons across most of the splits. I mean, I think we have 8 or 9 of them in our split. It's a strong car, it's a good race car, so, and it's a safe choice as well, especially given the tracks of this season. There's no real weak tracks for us as such, as we see Malloy gets the move done. Rad looking for that little cut back there, I'm not sure. It's going quite enough speed, not quite close enough there. So Malloy would look at an overtake on Reed there, although Rad is still not quite out of this fight. These guys are your free drivers who are fighting. Oof, Rad with a very, very big moment there. And Sean Miller takes advantage of that and moves up into P14.
Yeah, nice little move there by Muller to just sneak up the inside and take advantage of J-Red sliding out. And I just want to say, how cool is Sean Muller's livery? It's one of my favorites from the split, I'd have to say, as we see J-Red just tumbling back as he allows through another Aston. So J-Red struggling a little bit with the changing track conditions, but he is on the outside heading up to turn 1, so let's see what happens here. He loves to get on the brakes late, but he... Oh, not a lot in it, this one, side by side. And they make it around there nice and clean, and beautiful racing room given by both drivers there. J-Rad manages to claw that one back.
Although he did gets a pretty poor exit out of turn 2, and Van Dam looking up the inside. Rad, as we know, is very late on the brakes, and we see Wenzel there trying to join this little battle with a move around the outside of Van Dam, not quite making it sticky yet, but he is still very close to him, so if he can get a good run onto the straight here, could potentially get past, but he does have Alexander Berlon right behind him, piling on the pressure as well, making that recovery drive.
Yeah, he's nursing a little bit of damage, which is unfortunate, so we'll see how much it compromises his straight line speed down here, but the sun is coming out, JP, so track is going to be going up in temp here.
Yeah, track has already come up to 23 degrees from 18 that it was earlier, and it is damp. So grip conditions will be a little bit different than they were a couple of laps ago. Track evolving every single lap. So important to, as you can see there, Reed gets a bit of a moment coming in Sainz corner. Is going to allow Sean Miller up the inside and into P13. He has Zach Malloy right ahead of him. He has one lap to chase him down and get that reverse grid pole. That is a very good incentive to have a fantastic lap on this final round.
Yeah, as we go back to Matty Lamb, who has just commenced the final lap for race 1 here tonight at Paul Ricard. 2.8 second gap back to Vediger, and then Paul Britt another 3.6. So top 3, quite the gap to Maddox. So nicely done at the front of the field.
Yes, very fast drivers. Vetiger really putting in a good performance. I was in many practice lobbies with Lamb and Britt, and they were in the 52s. So very, very fast drivers. Vetiger doing very well to stick it out there with him as well. As we know, he is a very fast driver anyway. But yeah, good to see him not letting them have it easily. But yeah, this is your reverse grid pole holder currently with a couple of kilometers to go, just a few more corners, and he has Miller about a second behind him, a little bit under 1 second. Whoa, Miller with a fantastic drift into the chicane there, manages to save it, not lose too much time, but that is definitely not going to help him in his bid of getting past Zach Malloy ahead of him.
Yeah, and I just see a little pop-up. We've had a black flag disqualification for track limits for Howe, so must taken a different route down one of the many alternative options you have at Paul Ricard.
Yeah, that's quite a serious incident. I didn't know you could get a DQ that quickly, but as we see, Brad McDonald also gets a drive-through. So quite a few penalties here. Look at Paul Britt all over the back of Vettiger. Not many corners to go, and this last sector is definitely not an easy place for overtaking. He will have one last opportunity coming into the final corner. All Vettiger has to do is just place the car in the correct position, and he should be able to make it stick. As Matty Lamb comes around the final corner for round 1 of season 12, and he will continue where he left off last season, taking the win quite comfortably at the end of the race by about 3 seconds. Vettiger holds on with Paul Britt right behind him in P3. Rob Maddox, you'll be happy with a P4 there. Callum Gibbons in P5. Sean Bubnow, the supposed Pro-Am, is crossing the line in P6 after a very strong performance. Jamie Conboy moved up the field from around P13 up into P7. Steve Crossland in P8. Ashley Vettiger, very good performance from him under a lot of pressure for much of that race. He is in P9, Shane McLaws in P10. Chad Suckton will cross the line in P11, and Zach Malloy does enough to hold on for a reverse grid pole in P12.
Yeah, beautiful. Another flawless drive by Matty Lamb, like you said, picking up where he left off in season 11. But yeah, Malloy will be P1 for race 2, 40-minute race. So got to be a little bit more conscious of tyres, but it will be weather dependent. Do you think we're going to see rain or sun now, JP? I'm thinking the next race will be dry.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I suspect it will just be dry from now on in, but hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we see some changing conditions again. I mean, in a 20-minute race, you can stick it out on the tires if it stops raining halfway through. In a 40-minute race, you certainly can't.
Yeah, no, you'd for sure have to pit.
So we see Tom McDonald here, after serving a drive-through early in the race as well. He is crossing the line. Will most likely be the last driver to cross the line, as the race will draw to an end.
And a little slide there at the end. Some style points.
Triple T asking how many championships Noski or Bubnow has to win before he becomes a pro. That is a good question. I suspect I did not help his bid when I mildly inconvenienced him by hitting him up the arse last season. But yeah, he is really performing well since he's receiving his new gear. His pace has definitely stepped up a notch as well. So good to see him get a good result there. And yeah, we wait for Kunos to do its thing and finish this session.
Yeah, what do you think? What are we going to see another safety car race 2, JP? A little reverse grid madness, surely, quite likely.
I just this track is very tricky, especially that first sector, the first corner, and then that second chicane as well. There's so many sort of tightening. Yeah, I think the odds of a safety car is very good.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see it. It doesn't seem to happen too much in LOR, but on LFM I have in fact even seen crashes down the straight itself. So who knows what will happen in race 2, but surely not a crash down the straight. If that's not a curse, I don't know what is, JP.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved in that. You can curse them all on your own.
So Kurnos is finally deciding it's about time we roll the server over for our second qualification session, which is only 6 minutes for everyone who wasn't in the top 12.
Oh,
and
that
rain
is wet
again. Oh my goodness, that is very wet. did they load the enduro from last season's setup for the session this race, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, I guess we'll have a look at how heavy it is. Based on what we see on screen, it looks like it's fairly heavy rain. Yeah, that is heavy rain. So that is going to be very tricky qualifying session.
Yep. I wonder. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's no way it's gonna dry out at all in time for this quali session. But I'm just thinking what that bodes for the next race, because I believe the race is an hour or 2 hours. I think the race is at 2 p.m. Yeah, so
you can see at 30 minutes it's stopping with the rain, so there's potential that it will be dry for the race, but it might still be a fast or a green track, depending on how the game wants to determine that. But yeah, before we get there, we need to deal with a very wet track.
yeah, I Wow. Empathy for these guys having to do wet quali. I think wet qualies, they can be good. I think the worst is when you have a crossover like they saw in the first session.
Yeah, as we see the little promotional video here for the Bathurst 12 Hours that is happening next weekend. Only 48 teams can qualify. There is about 60 teams who are doing laps. Currently, the cut-off time for qualifying is a 2-minute .4, which is in itself a very quick lap. And when you consider that's the average lap time of all the drivers in the teams, it really is a very, very fast grid. And certainly gets me excited for a race day to come around. And of course, we will have the top 10 shootout next Friday. So be sure to tune in to that as well. Always a good entertainment, seeing what the best guys out there can do with their 1 or 2 lap shootout. So yeah, certainly tune in for that.
Yeah, incredibly competitive field. Like a 2024, like you said, that is pretty rapid. That's like a good pro-am or a slowish pro, sort of in between sort of crossover points. So yeah, lots of competition in there. What's your best lap you managed to put in, GP?
I got a 2-minute flat .2 in the qualifying, so, and that's not even good enough for top 12, I think. So
is that ridiculous?
Yeah, I've got a PB by about 4 tenths, and it's not good enough at all to get into the top 10. So yeah, very, very competitive. Some of the big names that missed out on a couple of last season's races are back, so that's certainly spiced up the top 5, top 6 cars are some esports drivers. We have, of course, professional drivers in there as well. So yeah, it's good to see. Looking forward to sharing a track with everybody.
Yeah, what a cool shot we see here back at Paul Ricard though. That's really nice. I love curb cam shots, and just see how wet the track is. Still a lot of standing water as it's just tailing out the back from all the cars that fly on through.
Yeah, I mean, ACC, for all its faults, there's one thing it does very well, and it is wet weather sort of graphics. It just looks stunning, seeing the reflections, and yeah, just a very good looking game when it wants to be.
Yeah, I mean, it makes iRacing look like it's sort of an early 2000s game in comparison, which it almost is. But we see a little bit of a shortcut there by the M&M Mercedes.
Definitely an alternate line. As we come to get a view of the curb on the exit here of Science, this is a very, very deadly curb, as we saw in race 1 for Mr. Barrelon. But yeah, I had a big die here as well during the 8 hours. Just stepping a wheel onto that exit curb, and it throws you across the track into the other side. Oh, as we see, that looks like a Porsche going rather wide there. That's not the optimal line.
It's actually quite surprising how far what appears to be out of track limits you can go, and yet the lap remains valid.
Yeah, I mean, anything before these 3 little sort of policemen here, you can go as wide as you want really before it invalidates. As long as you get back within these warning beacons, you're fine. So yeah, a couple of guys here, you can see alternate line, some people pushing the limits, taking the risk of the slippery curve, some people staying safe on the inside. You can see there Thoreau staying on the inside as well. J-Rad, Ben Van Dam goes P1, that is an invalid lap there.
Yep.
A 2:08.4, so it is much, much wetter than it was in the first session, that's for sure.
And I think those little flaps, like they're so good on Paul Ricard. I think that would be one thing I would like added to Coda. Not that it'll probably ever happen, but like for the S's at Coda, that would be so nice.
Absolutely.
To have those.
Yeah, to have a guide at least.
Because half the time you don't even know, like you've gained time or like that you've even exceeded it, and then boom, you're already on 3 warnings in a 45-minute race and you're 10 minutes in. So.
Yep, no, I know very well how that goes, seeing as I got a drive-through in the lead last season. So yeah, no, it's I love, like, the track of Kota is a
so
fun track.
Yeah.
But the track limits are just ridiculous. It's frustrating, and the fact that you not always 100% sure of where you got it, because sometimes it takes 2 or 3 corners before it actually delivers the warning. That's a big part of the frustration.
We're actually talking in our Enduro Team's Discord today about tracks we'd like seeing added to ACC, as we see, is that Appreciato getting Taily around the second to last corner. Tracks added to ACC, and my top 3 were Paul Ricard, I mean, sorry, not Paul Ricard. Phillips Island.
You'll be lucky to know. You'll be happy to know.
No, sorry, Phillips Island. Road Atlanta as Mel shows me the tour of the pit lane at Paul Ricard. So, thank you. No, it's just a bit of a Freudian slip, I think there. But yeah, no. So Phillips Island, Road Atlanta would be another really cool one, and perhaps Magallo would be a great addition as well.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not too familiar with Road Atlanta, to be honest. I think that's very much like an iRacing thing. Everybody who's played iRacing loves it. But yeah, out of the tracks I would like to see, I would say my top three most likely Hockenheim and maybe Red Bull Ring.
Yes.
And then something like Portimao or Malaysia. Either of those would be good additions for myself as well.
Right, and we check in now with Sean Muller, who is P5, so that puts him at P17 behind the reverse grid. So
he's on a lap still. Let's see if he's able to improve. He's 1.1 seconds off of Ben Van Dam. Can he improve on his final lap? He is almost a second up. Certainly will move him up a couple of spots. He moves up into P3. Tom Kidman immediately unseats him into P4. Alexander Balleron goes about 7/10 quicker than anybody else has managed to go. He goes into P1, which will put him P13 for the start of the next race. And we see Lawrence here coming around a final set of corners. He is up by a second, 1.2 seconds. That will move him up a fair chunk of positions as well. And he is the last car on track. Can he improve? As you see, he gaining tenths every meter he goes through the corner. One more corner to go, a very, very tricky corner. He gains another 2 or 3 tenths through there. A little bit of a crappy exit, loses a couple of tenths, but he is still up 1.2 seconds. That will move him up to probably around P5 or 6.
What a guess. Yeah, but quite a slower quali session compared to our first one.
Yeah, I think it's quite a lot wetter from what it looked like.
And as we say that,
Let's
the track
try.
goes to green and the air temp goes to 21 and the track temp to 29. But I do see there is rain in 30 minutes, JP. Heavy rain.
Ooh, that's gonna be very, very interesting.
And so we do have the full formation lap and another 3 minutes of sitting here, giving the drivers plenty of time to get their setups in order. So we could be in for a treat here at the end of the race. Who will be brave and stay out, and who will take the punt and see if wets is the way to go? Keep it within the track limits.
I remember, I think it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, I think it was Monza, round 1, and it was a similar type of race as well, 40 minutes, and the last 8 minutes it rained.
Right.
And it was just one of the best endings to a race you've seen. The guy, I mean, people were changing positions, losing 10 positions in the final couple of laps, and it was just fantastic end to the race. So yeah, hopefully we see something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we could be in for a whole 13 minutes of it by the looks of things. So will be interesting.
Sorry, as we see in chat, there are a couple of people saying Nordschleife. No Nordschleife. I know I'm in the minority with that, but I don't like Nordschleife. Singapore is quite an interesting shout there by the eyeballs as well. So yeah, I'm not on board with the Nordschleife train. I've never gotten the appeal. It's a track day track. It's not a racetrack.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's like you said, a really cool track to just go hot lap, but racing is too long. I don't know. I think it's really cool how they go there to test cars. So I think that's
I mean it's
sort of its own thing. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a phenomenon, but I just don't enjoy it as a racetrack. I've never taken the time to properly learn it, so that most likely has add some bias to my opinion about it. But yeah, I don't know. It's overrated, I would say.
Yeah, it's kind of niche, but all the same, I wouldn't be upset if it did get added. I just want new tracks in ACC in general at this point. So, will be cool though when we do get some new content in the 296, the Lambo, and the Porsche.
Yeah, should be interesting. And I was thinking about it the other day, and it's a question for yourself and for chat as well. If there's any other cars, not real GT3 cars, but any car that you would like to be a GT3 car. I know we're gonna get ridiculous answers like a Lada Niva or something like that, but actual legitimate options that you would like to see as a GT3 car.
Well, I would. I'm a sucker for a good muscle car. I probably. Well, there is actually a Corvette GT3, so I'd love to see a Corvette, perhaps like a Ford of some sort would be really cool. Ford GT, even a Mustang potentially. I don't know how that would work, and I don't know. I'd love another V12, like perhaps an Aventador. But yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I mean it's a good shout. There's a couple of I would like to see something that's sort of a little bit weirder, but still makes it work. And it's like
Like
I
an
don't know. There's
07 or something?
yeah,
Like
but
a.
there's in Super GT they had a Prius before.
Oh wow.
Kia Stinger GT3 is actually a good shout. That's a good shout by Race Control there.
Mm.
But they had a Prius in the Super GT, and it looks incredible. You can Google it as well, Prius GT. It looks freaking amazing.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's in iRacing you do have the Ford GT GTE, I think, which you should be able to convert to a GT3.
Mm-hmm.
And Mustang in GT Sport or GT7, they have the Mustang as a GT3 car, and it looks freaking epic. So I'm sure that should be something that's possible to do as well.
Yeah, I mean, not long now till Newcastle kicks off for supercars too, and we're going to see the debut of the Camaro and the new Mustang. So I don't know. Do you watch that series, GP?
I watch it when I can. I don't really follow it religiously, but I enjoy watching the racing.
Right. Yeah, I think
Hyundai,
it's going to be really cool for that. And I mean, Newcastle of all tracks is going to be one of the trickiest on their calendars, so that will be pretty epic.
yeah, not really familiar with the tracks, but I saw Race Control say they Hyundai Genesis. That's also in GT Sport, and it looks amazing as a GT3 car. So yeah, there's really some in GT Sport. My favorite one that they have is the Beetle. They have the Beetle, the
Right.
new Beetle as a GT3 car, but it looks incredible.
Another good one would be the Pagani, because I know it runs a Mercedes V12. I think it's a V12. I know it's a 12-cylinder at least, but man, that car just screams. It's probably one of the coolest sounding cars of all time. Another good one, actually, JP, seeing as I'm a bit of a Lexus fanboy, would be the LFA. Wouldn't
Oh yeah,
wouldn't be partial to seeing that added in either.
I mean, they don't have to make that a GT3 car. Just put it on track so we can all listen to it because it does sound absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. Not many of them around either. Like every one of those they actually made it a loss, I believe, in terms of. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and it wasn't very well received when it came out, apart from obviously the way it sounds. But yeah, it's an awesome looking car.
Well, even just the triple exhaust at the back is just so cool.
You see in chat a couple of shots for Lion Robin GT3, so somebody's not taking it seriously. Suzuki Swift also not taking it seriously. Mazda 3 GT3. In GT Sport they have the Atenza GT3, which is basically the Mazda 3, I think, the saloon version. So that's pretty cool. Toyota Supra GT3, yep, also one thing that they have in GT Sport. So basically, just take all the cars that they made for GT Sport and convert it into ACC. That would be fantastic. But yeah, Kia Stinger is actually a really good shot. I mean, Kia isn't really in racing from what I've seen, so that would be a good shout. But speaking of cars, the safety car is leading us into this final sector here. We will be getting double file pretty soon, as Zach Malloy will start from pole for race number 2 of round 1 for Split Blue in the Sprint Series. So we will go racing fairly soon, and this should be very interesting for those unaware. This is a reverse grid for the top 12 from race 1. So if you finish P12 in race 1, you start P1 for the second race. So Matthew Lamb, who has won the first race, will be starting from P12, hoping to make his way through this field back up to a potential win in the second race, which could potentially end in chaos with some rain towards the end. Zach Malloy leads us away. Chad Sackton in P2. McLaws, Vettiger, Crossland, Convoy, Bubnow, Gibbons, Maddox, and Britt is your top 10. They cross the line. It will be a delayed green light with the reverse grid pole as we wait for P12 to cross the line and the lights to go green anytime about now. We are racing. Zach Malloy is quite a bit ahead of Sackton. Sackton not really getting that start quite nailed. McLaws up the inside there, but Sackton very late on the brakes. McLaws still up the inside there. We see a couple of 2-3 wides towards the back. No contact as of yet. Everybody seems to have made it through. A little bit of a bumping Towards the rear there, it looks like Brit maybe on the inside there, but nobody around at the moment, no yellow flags. Convoy up the inside there of Sean Babnow, and he is also under pressure from Maddox, who gets on the inside for the hairpin. A couple of free wides towards the back there. It looks like Barrelon trying to make up a couple of positions, hoping to recover after a accident in race 1. And we see Vettiger going up the inside there of Noski, but that will put him on the inside for the straight. Will he have the legs to match the Ferrari coming down this very, very long straight? I don't think the Aston will be able to keep him behind, although he does get a very good acceleration out of there. A little bit of rubber banding happening. Not quite sure who is winning this battle, but Gibbons is closing up. He's going to make it potentially free wide. Oh, and he gets touched there by, I think it was Paul Britt maybe, who maybe misjudged the rubber banding a little bit there. Yeah. But we are free wide currently. Vettiger sends it up the inside. Gibbons takes the discretionary pass, backs out of it. Britt around the outside. Gibbo now under pressure from Matt Lamb. So far so good, no yellow flags at the moment. Paul Britt still just ahead of Gibbo. Gibbo backs out a little bit again. He is under pressure from Matt Lamb now. Matt Lamb with Barrelon just behind him, putting on the pressure. Matt Lamb looking around the outside. That's going to compromise his line. Will Barrelon poke a nose up the inside? Not quite close enough to make that happen, as we see a yellow flag on the exit of Bendor corner, I think. Not sure what the name of that corner is, unfortunately. Whoa, as we see Barrelon very close to making contact with Matt Lamb there. A couple of slow cars at the back recovering. We'll get, oh, a little bit of contact again there from Barrelon, just misjudging his braking it so slightly. 2 corners in a row there. And we cross the line for lap 1 of race 2.
And it does look like we've stayed green, so that is good for the front of the pack boys. You don't want to condense the field, you just want to try and get that gap out, get them out of the tow, like Malloy has done so far. He's beautiful first lap for Malloy.
Absolutely, almost a second ahead already, so he'll be looking to stretch away. Hopefully for him, Sugden either doesn't have the pace to keep up and holds the guys behind up a little bit. But yeah, rain in 10 is the update, so it looks as though it will start with light rain and then go to heavy rain, so that is certainly going to make it interesting. But if it starts raining that soon, there's a very, very good chance of some pit stops maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's no mandatory pit stops as such, but I can't see anyone, especially when it transitions to heavy or medium rain. Medium rain sort of feels like heavy when you're driving in it. But yeah, you'd have to be quite brave and kind of maybe impartially judge to stay out if it becomes very wet. You'll just be slipping and sliding everywhere and not get your car pulled up and tuck in where you want it to go.
Also very much the type of situation as we see Convoy there gets past Crossland. It's the type of situation where misjudging it by 1 lap could potentially cost you 4 or 5 position. So it's so tricky to decide when the car doesn't have the grip that you need. Britt and Vettiger there side by side. Now Britt on the outside of the other Vettiger. I think that is Joshua Vettiger and Ashley Vettiger just ahead of them. So seems as though Bob now has gotten ahead of Ashley Vettiger there. So the leaderboard still updating a little bit. Joshua Vettiger, too many Vettigers can. They don't need to race this close to each other. It's difficult to call. As we see Paul Britt looking for something on Ashley just ahead. If I remember correctly, I think Ashley sent me a message once that Josh is his son. So it's the father-son racing team, which is pretty freaking cool to see. And
That is cool.
Paul Britt piling up the pressure as we see Matt Lamb trying to make a move up the inside of Gibbo there. Somebody leaving the pits very nearly gets collected by Gibbo. He has to brake very early to get out of it.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that might have been Brad McDonald actually leaving the pits.
No, it was a blue Aston, I think. So McDonald was
really?
ahead of that.
Right.
So a couple of cars here. Ooh, as we see Vettiger closing up on the back of McDonald, hoping he gets out of the way and manages to avoid contact very close to a couple of oopsies there, but hopefully, or luckily so far, Brad McDonald is not having the best start to season 12, I would say.
I think he's down a lap even. I'm not too sure what happened to Brad there. Would have to perhaps get a replay, but we jump back in with Kidman coming down the straight in his Audi, and behind him we have Barrelon and Van Dam in the Aston. And I would be putting my bets on the Ferrari right now. As we can see, the closing speed on the Audi goes to defend, so he will have to go around the outside if he does want to get it done at the end of the straight here, but it's looking like he may in fact get it done. Ferrari does have a great top high-end speed. It's just the acceleration which is lacking, but obviously with the toe and low wing, that is not a problem down the straight. So nice move there by Barrelon.
Yeah, very well done there. Van Dam did everything he could there. Not Van Dam, sorry, Kitman did everything he could, as we see a replay here of what happened to Brad McDonald. So everything going well through Science Corner. Oh, as we see, I think that was Reed, just a little bit of a touch there on Miller. McDonald trying to avoid it. So far, no real, little bit of a touch, and he just goes around, and I think he will collect. Oh, the poor
yeah, that's not good.
Aston Martin gets collected. So those are the two cars that came out of the pit lane and caused a bit of a kerfuffle amongst some of the leaders there. But so far, nobody else has committed a murder. Jamie Conboy up the inside of turn 1 there of Shane McLaws makes the move stick. That's a fantastic move. Jamie Conboy is in a very good position here
Look
to
at
look
that.
for a potential win.
Look at that rain, radar JP, even heavier in another 30 minutes, which will be in the last few laps of the race. So, man, this is going to be very interesting when we do see the heavens burst open.
I don't know if you were in the car during the thunderstorms in the 8 hours when it was very, very heavy rain, but that was some of the trickiest conditions we've ever driven in. It was amazing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Audi versus McLaren. Audi might have the legs here. He got a great exit. Claus, not sure if he's carrying damage or something, but he's looking a little bit slow.
I don't know. This is quite a strong track for the McLaren, from what I know at least. It's one of the better cars here.
It's the fastest car around here, from what I understand. That and the BMW. So yeah, I'm not sure if he's carrying damage or maybe just running way too much wing or something, but he's not looking overly competitive on the straights. We see here Lawrence and Van Dam and Gunther, Chris Stacey obviously had a bit of a rubbish race 1, and race 2 doesn't appear to be going that much better. John Rad with a 15-second penalty.
Oof, that's not what you want if you're J-Rad right now, but I'm just seeing, checking back in with the leaders, Malloy has managed to maintain that 1.5 second gap with Suggo right behind him, and then Convoy is 0.2 behind, and he's sniffing around the inside into the final corner. So is it a question of if or when Convoy makes his way up into P2, J-Rad? Sorry, JP.
I think with the pace that Convoy is doing, he's looking very good to get up into the lead here. The question will be, how quickly can he do it, and how quickly can Matt Lamb and those behind get through traffic and start chasing him down. So 30 minutes is a long time, but when you have some traffic in between you, it's always tricky to make up time and positions.
Yeah, and those unmandatory pit stops will make it interesting as we see Convoy going around the outside, which then turns on to the inside, so nicely done there. And just behind him we have Maddox tucked in, so Mad Dog is looking to step his way up into P2, but yeah, a long way to go yet.
Sugden was very compliant there, lost 3 positions in 2 corners, wasn't particularly assertive, so he won't be too happy with that. As we see Maddox right behind Convoy, he could be the fly in the ointment here for Convoy in terms of getting that win as he moves towards the outside, coming down this very, very long straight. Will he be able to clear him by the time he is? Convoy's locked back in behind, look behind there side by side. McLaws and Britt as well. Britt manages to get the move done on McLaws, moves up another position. He is also looking very strong for a potential win here. He's made up a good amount of positions so far, and he's quite a few positions ahead of Lamb and Vettica, who were his biggest competitors in race 1. Oh, that's a very
deep on the brakes there, but he kept it clean and racing room left, but not much in that one as we see them go too wide. And it's looking like Brett has got the move done, and this is one of the corners where you can just take a quite different approach in terms of lines. I tend to take a narrower line on entry and then sort of just coast around into the second middle apex of the corner. But yeah, on board with Matty Lamb now, P9, so he is in the top 10.
P8 now.
P8, so
we see Barrelon there gets a 10-second penalty for losing on that one. I think that was for the little hit on the back of Lamb towards the final corner there. So unfortunate for him there, but he'll still be looking to move forward a little bit. Matt Lamb struggling a little bit to get through this traffic. I think the Porsche is not the best car for fighting through a field, given its straight line deficit.
Yeah, it sort of lacks the straight line speed, although it might have actually seen a little buff with the recent nerf because it reduced the aero, I believe. So it might actually be slightly better in a straight line.
It's not that slow in the straight line. It's just not quite quick enough to like easily march past people. You know, like the Ferrari just drives past you and the Audi can drive past you, but
and the Lexus.
yeah, I mean, Lexus is a class of its own. But as soon as you go anything that has a little bit of a corner to it, the Lexus just cries. But
yes,
as we see, Matty Lamb there moves out of the slipstream. The McLaren is still in the slipstream and he's not able to move past him. Keeps it in there, and McLaws allows him the space, and Matt Lamb moves through. He now has another 6 cars ahead of him.
Yeah, I'm sort of thinking like, obviously beautiful move there, but I feel like Matt Lamb has the ability to get in other drivers' heads just because everyone knows it's him in the red Porsche. He's notorious for winning. He's fast. Like, just yeah, you don't want to fight him too hard, but at the same time, I think like if you can defend a bit, make him work for it, right?
Yeah, for sure, but sometimes it takes that little bit of racecraft. If you know the guys behind them are roughly on pace with you, just let them through and get a bit of slipstream and try and pull away from the guys behind you. You know, it's you need to decide whether it's worth defending against one of the fastest guys on the game for 30 minutes or just letting him through and let him help you forward. You see the battle for the lead here is about to commence. Maddox very close to the back of Malloy. Convoy right on Maddox's tail. Paul Britt has joined the fight as well,
Wow.
so it's now a 4-player fight, and the rain has started coming down.
So I wonder who will be first to flinch and take a tour through the pit lane and put on some fresh wets, because it will get wet pretty quickly here. So it's only light at the moment, but it won't be long.
Track has gone fast almost immediately, and now green already. So conditions changing very quickly. I think we should see greasy towards the end of the lap, most likely. And yeah, then it's going to be timing that crossover period. There we go, greasy already, not even the end of the lap, not even the end of the straight. So yeah, given the fact that it's going to be heavy rain, I suspect we will see some people go into the pits. Oh, Convoy, a lot of overspeed there. Is he going to make it 3 wide in the wet? He certainly is.
Why not? Send it. There's Malloy.
Oh! That was bound to happen.
He manages to keep it straight though, so not ideal, but he didn't spin, so that is some consolation there. And we see Paul Britt, yeah, sneaks through and takes P1, so nicely done by Paul Britt there. Fell into the lap.
I think all things being fair, Paul Britt should sprint away at the front. Oh, it looks as though there was some contact there between Lamb and Suckton as well. Maybe Lamb just carrying a little bit more speed, a little bit more confident in these conditions, and maybe a small little tap on the rear there. So potentially a penalty there for him, which will not be ideal. So he'll be looking to move forward as quickly as possible.
Yeah, the good thing is if you currently have a penalty, you will actually be able to serve it and then race for position again after taking on the wet. So that is a good thing. If you have been a little bit naughty up to this point, you can sort of get that out of the way.
Bob now is the first driver into the pits. We can see a couple of other drivers there, like Kidman maybe in the Audi driving in as well. Suckton very wide again in turn 1. I'm not sure if that time was assisted as well, but he has made another mistake. Might potentially allow Vettiger an opportunity, maybe not into the chicane, but certainly close enough onto the straight to make something work as well.
I just see Maddox slips through into P2, so Convoy back to 3 right now.
Convoy is very much one of those drivers who would much rather work together with somebody than fight against them, especially with so much time remaining in a race. And track is still greasy, so it's taking a little while to tick over into that damp situation, but generally damp is when the wet tires are at their strongest.
Yes, and we see Vettiger tucked in here in the slipstream. It will be inevitable that he makes it through here, as Sago leaves him the inside line, so not pulling up as quickly as I would have expected, but 2 wide here in the wet is ambitious. Do they get it done nicely? A little bit of curb there, you got to be careful on slicks, but yep, through alive, so nicely done by both drivers there. As we see Vettiger getting a lot of opposite line, but he caught it, so nicely done. And just as
Very
quickly
well
as he
done
got
by
that
Sugden.
position,
Well,
yes, he gives
I
it
don't know how
back.
Sugden missed him there, but that was very well held by Vettiger, and I think Sugden just took a little bite out of his seat with his butt because that was way too close.
Oh yeah, he was clenching for sure. But yeah, nicely done by all three drivers there.
Just look at the front there, Britt already cleared off by over 2 seconds, so
Wow,
yeah.
he's rapid,
this is-
yeah. It looks like a few more people pulling into the pit lanes as we see Maddox and Convoy
Back
both in.
Back has gone damp, so I think if you don't dive into the pits now, you will be losing out significantly.
Yep.
See barrel on there. Oh, this is a hive of activity coming into the pit lane here.
Yeah, and it's so important now. You don't want to be that one driver who doesn't switch tyres to wets and you go back out on a fresh set of dries. So.
Britt has stayed out, so it should be interesting to see. It might be a controversial decision, it might pay off, but yeah, let's see how it works out for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like most people have pitted this lap. I think I would be doing the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just turned damp sort of as the leaders were going through that final sector, so it would have been tricky to get a timed ride. I think Britt was probably the closest to the pit lane when it went damp, so maybe. But his gap, I think his gap would have been big enough to hopefully cover it up. So let's see how things play out. I'm sure Britt, Sugden and Berlon will be diving into the pits this lap around.
Yep, and I just see Maddox and Convoy have both just left the pits now in the same order, so nice pit stops by both of them. Same margin as when they entered, so good job, boys. And
One of the things I really wish that they would fix a little bit in this game is just the bit, the trick, not the trickiness of the bit, but the sort of, it's so finicky. Oh, that's very aggressive by Vettiger there, blocking Matt Lamb. Matt Lamb backs out and gives him a little flash to show his dissatisfaction. And he continues on. They are currently in P6 and P7, but of course we do have 3 drivers up ahead who hasn't done a pit stop yet. A little bit wide there, my McLaws in the background. Now let's see what this Porsche can do against the Ferrari in a straight line. Depends on the exit they both get out of here.
Well, the Porsche is very good in the wet, but in saying that, so is the Ferrari.
Britt is staying out. Britt is staying out, and the track is wet. Is Britt on wet tires? Did he take that gamble? I don't think so.
Let me check that for you.
No, he's on dry tires, so he's just feeling confident that he has the pace to cover these guys. He's done a 2:05 on the last lap.
Right. He's running TC7, ABS7, and 50.6 brake bias. So yeah, I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's P1. He still has the purple lap. Don't think that will be getting broken for the rest of the race. 55.5 with these conditions. So 2:05 is his last lap. So 10 seconds off the pace from dry. So.
That's a non-optimal line there from Vettiger. He's just losing a little bit of grip, and once you get a wheel onto that blue paint on the outside of the track, it just pulls you off. Very difficult to get it back on the track without sort of touching the brakes. It's a little spicy battle there behind with Bubnow, McLaws and Gibbons as well.
Yeah, I will be interested to see what Matty Lamb does in terms of pace, because as I was saying, Britt's last lap was at 2:05, so it's 10 seconds of what he was doing in the dry.
Yeah, let's see, this is be an outlap, so no, this should be the first flying lap, I think. Right. Indication of the pace from Gibbo here. He will be crossing the line soon, and he does a 2:05 as well. So
okay,
that sort of crossover point, I think. I think the next lap from Britt will be a little bit slower than a 2:05, as the track has gotten progressively more wet.
Yeah, but nice drive so far by Gibbo in P12, and he is hunting down McLaws in front. So we'll see what he can get done. But yeah, I would definitely expect Paul Britt to be in this lap.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the gap has come down to the guys behind them. Maddox, as we said, it was about 2.5 seconds by the time they dived into the pit lane. And they have obviously done 2 laps on those superior wet tires, I would guess. And Britt comes around the final corner. Will he commit to the pit lane? He does not.
He stays out. He knows it's raining, right?
I don't know, it depends on how high your graphics is. If you're running the game on a potato and it doesn't show the rain.
He just did a 209, so 4 seconds difference. So I can't quite understand why he'd stay out on dries, unless he's expecting it to go dry again. But quite
Yeah, but
clearly on the radar it says it's not going to.
exactly.
So,
You can see the weather widget when you're driving. It's not.
yeah,
I think Maddox will be ahead of him already now.
yeah,
Based on the last couple of laps.
a little bit
Yeah.
strange of a strategy. But
Big slide there from Malloy with Vettiger also joining him, and that looks like Sean Miller.
yeah,
Just
I think
on
he's a
front
lap
row.
down, just giving lots of racing room. So that's nice and considerate of Sean.
Looks like Lamb and Convoy are side by side. Convoy does have a 15-second penalty. That would be for the hit on the Aston Martin on Malloy a little bit earlier. Lamb is passed, and he will be looking to chase down Robert Maddox, who is about 2 seconds up the road. Don't think it should take him too long to start closing that gap down. Only 18 minutes remaining in this race.
Yeah,
So,
just over that halfway point now, right?
yeah, I'm a little bit baffled by Brit's strategy here, to be honest. Unless he knows something that we don't, I think he's got this very, very wrong.
Yeah, I can't, like, not that I'm like any guru in terms of strategy, but yeah, like I can't quite figure that one out either. Well, let's see what happens.
Unless he's just planning on staying out. If you look at the gap that he has to Maddox,
True.
it's about half a lap at the moment.
Yeah, it's 60 seconds. Yeah, 60, 61 seconds. It's quite a substantial gap.
So if he can stick that out, I mean, if he's only losing, what, 3 or 4 seconds a lap, he has a big enough gap to potentially make that work. He just runs the risk of obviously doing a die, or as we see him doing a die.
Yep.
As he had a very, very big slide there coming into that second last corner. Now, will he commit to the pit lane?
Yeah.
I think he can't. He can't anymore. He does.
Yes, he is coming in.
But
So.
he has definitely messed up this strategic battle here, I think. I think we'll see him probably slot in maybe around P5 or somewhere around there, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, if he could have stayed out and kept it, like you said, only losing 5 seconds a lap, it could have worked out. But yeah, I don't know, a lot smaller margin for error in these kind of conditions.
There's Kidman, who is just getting some views of the track. I think he maybe nibbled a curb coming onto the straight and just lost it, which is very easy to do.
So we see Steve Crossland going down the outside of, Appreciado?
Crossland just served a drive-through, so he's lost a fair couple of positions. He'll be looking to fight his way back up the field. Stockton up the inside of Appreciado there. Can he make it work? Appreciado gives him very much room. And Crossland almost pokes a nose up into the middle there, but Appreciado sticks it around the outside, manages to maintain position.
I see Tom McDonald just got a drive-through for track limits as well, so really not T-Max night tonight, unfortunately. Neither of the McDonalds and the Ferraris, actually, so...
As there we see Paul Britt leaving the pit lane, and that is McLaws, I think, who just came out of ahead of him.
Yeah, Paul Britt and P9.
Oof. Okay, so that is the Ferrari F1 team strategy school paying off there. Really not quite what he would have liked to see.
Yeah, and we see another drive-through for car number 15, so few people struggling.
Matt Lamb with a drive-through.
Yeah, a few people struggling with track limits in these conditions, which is understandable, but...
Well, this is really opening up the door for Rob Maddox to get his maiden win.
Yeah.
And he has he's pulled a gap on Lamb here after Lamb has gotten into P2. So Maddox really putting in a strong performance here and making that Audi work in the wet.
Yeah, as we see Vettiger going up the straight, he is closing the gap to Convoy, so nice drive by him so far too, and he was doing it with extra style points, sliding it around the corner he is approaching it. As we watch him now, does he do it again?
No. I haven't seen many. I've watched a fair bit of drifting. I've never seen a Ferrari take part in those competitions, but it's good to see them sort of branching out into other fields.
Yeah.
And he's currently sitting net P2 at the moment, so hopefully he can, hopefully for him, he can find a way past Convoy here. He has 15 minutes remaining. Matt Lamb will be serving that drive-through anytime now, and he could potentially try and close that gap to Maddox at the front. as we get a replay here. Did he cross the second chicane and get 2 warnings at the same time? I'm thinking that is most likely the
Oof,
case.
that's pretty tough.
No, he didn't actually.
Not too
So
sure.
unless he got 2 warnings on both of those corners there, but
It didn't even look like he cut the track that much, to be honest.
yeah, it's Paul Ricard things is pretty strict in terms of track limits there. As we see, Vettiger gets a very good run on the outside of Convoy here into the chicane, where Matt Lamb just got his drive through. They managed to stick it out side by side. Vettiger slots back in behind. Will he just be patient, get a good run onto the straight here, and try and walk his way past that McLaren? I think the Ferrari should have the speed to be able to do that.
Yeah. Oh no, bad exit there for Vettiger. So a get out of jail card there for Convoy. So not ideal, but yeah, we'll see how that unfolds the remainder of the race. Malloy 2 seconds back, Bubner 2.5. So great drive from Malloy despite starting in P1. It's how often would you say, as we jump on board, was Stockton having a look up the inside?
Ooh. A little bit of contact there, but that is not too egregious there, I would say.
Yeah, how often have you seen a reverse grid pole sitter who's sort of around the prime level actually win a race? Does that happen very often?
Very rarely, I would say. I would say maybe 1 out of 7.5. Ooh, Stockton with a massive moment coming onto the straight there. Not sure if he saved that. I don't. Yeah, there's a slow car there. I think he managed to not save it, but he's back on track. Oh, as we see, Aston Martin up front there. That's not the line you want to take there, Damiano, but manages to keep it going straight. We saw some pretty spectacular deaths during the 8-hour last season.
Yeah.
So quite a tricky side of the track there.
Well, there's even a few pop tyres in the Enduro, I believe. Ricard Felgen, one of the EU sprint drivers, actually popped a tyre, couldn't stop the unsafe rejoin, and took somebody out.
Oof, okay. Matt Lamb has taken out about 1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds out of Robert Maddox on that previous lap. So yeah, he's driving angry, but unfortunately, doesn't matter how angry you get, it's not going to serve that drive-through for you. So he will be dropping down. Oh, it'll be interesting to see where he comes out, but I'm assuming somewhere around P16. What do you want to guess?
Oh, that's a good question. How long does it take to transit the pit lane here? Be what?
No,
40?
just guess. It's not a calculation, it's a guess.
Okay, I'll go 1 longer than you, P17. So.
Okay, that's a lame guess, but okay, cool. So we have P16 and P17. As we see Stacey here, he was running in P19 earlier in this race, so he's made a very strong comeback here. Ooh, better go with it. Yep, rough exit onto the straight there. Does he give Stacey space on the inside? Very dangerous there, as we see.
Oh no.
Many puddles there. Will
Does
he save it? He does not. That is going to be a visit to Mr. Barrier.
Oh
It
no.
was brave to go on that inside there.
Yeah.
I mean, like we were just saying, there's many puddles there. He found that out.
He tried
very
so hard.
way.
Oh, that was a good effort. That's unfortunate for Stacey.
It's like those videos you watch where somebody trips and they take about 40 steps to fall down. It's basically like that. He's gonna save it. Yes, no, yes, no, 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 no. Oh no, no. Oh well.
I'd love to see the onboard, just the wheel work going on for that one.
Yeah, that's just stalling at the wheel to the max. So, Tim's battles, we see Vettiger has gotten past Convoy. He has a gap of probably about 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds to Robert Maddox. He has 10 seconds to close that gap as we get a replay here. Stacey gets a good exit onto the straight. The McLaren ahead gets a good exit. The Aston doesn't. Aston gives him the room, but he hits a puddle.
He starts aquaplaning.
It goes wrong from there. So by this point, he almost saved it, and then he didn't.
I mean, Mercedes hard to save in the dry, honestly. So that was still a pretty good effort.
You could see there, he was not. Jesus took the wheel and he hit for the wall because Chris was not in control of that car.
He's a passenger. Auto
Well,
show.
he did all he could.
Yep. Very
but-
entertaining, at least.
I mean, I don't think he enjoyed it as much as we would have, but
I'm sure he'll have a laugh at his own expense if he does indeed watch this replay. But hey, we're not knocking him for trying. That was pretty cool.
Matt Lamb only lost, dropped down to P10, so I mean, P11, no wait, sorry, he's still dropping down.
Oh.
P12. Okay, I said P16, so I'm closer, so I win. But see Paul Britt there in P7 with the fastest lap. That will, of course, be from the dry conditions. And Vettiger has the last lap I saw was 4.8, 4.7 now.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if he is
Still
able to close the gap.
4.5 just now. So about the same. As we see Maddox getting a bit of opposite lock and drifting around there like Vettiger was earlier in the race. So margin closes down to 4.1 now, so he is reeling in slowly, but it's a bit of a yo-yo at the moment.
It's only it's about 5 laps remaining. You know, he's going to have to take a second a lap out of him to close that gap.
Yeah, and I just see Malloy currently P4, but with Convoy having that penalty, he's actually on for a podium. So an amazing drive by Malloy this race, starting from pole. So
although he does have Bub now putting on the pressure from behind for that Pro-Am win. To get an epic slow-mo shot here of Maddox in that Audi drift vehicle. Good save there, manages to get it back on the racing line.
I think he might have known he was on stream at that point, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe that was just for the crowd. As you can see, he lost 1.2 seconds on that lap, so it looks good for us, but I wouldn't recommend it as a strategy of staying ahead.
Yeah.
And Bob now here really putting the pressure on. He's also under pressure from Gibbo and Britt not too far behind him. So he'll be looking to get past Malloy and use Malloy as a buffer to those guys behind and potentially chase down a podium.
Yeah, a little pack of 4 sort of all duking it out at the moment. Not much in it.
We see an update from Diabol's. JC mentioning conditions are getting worse and worse. They are really bad at the moment. Back to you in the studio.
I mean, when we went on board with Stacy, when he tried to save it, you could just, the amount of spray when you're stuck behind another car is like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the benefit of bonnet cam is we don't deal with this.
True.
There's no windscreen on the bonnet. This is not a problem.
I never even considered that. It's actually crazy, man. But it does look like it's pretty impressive. I have to look for it.
Yeah.
So you see Gibbo has got his rain light on, so nice to see he is being safe. And he's squeezing Britt a little bit as they go too wide, but he leaves plenty of room on the entry, and Britt gets it done, so up to P6 now. So a little bit of a recovery drive after that questionable strategy, and he is slowly but surely reeling in Bub now and Malloy. Malloy doing a great job to hang on so far.
Yeah, really defending very well against Bub now there as well. I remember the first time we did a wet race in the wet, or in ACC,
Really?
and I had the wiper was on, but obviously I was on bonnet cam, so I couldn't see it.
Right.
And I couldn't figure out what the freaking sound was, and I was like looking around my room, like, what is making this noise? It's so annoying. And then I realized, oh wait, the wiper's on, so I had to turn auto wipers off to avoid that from happening.
That's kind of funny.
Britt very quickly closing that gap to Bob now there. Should be in a position to potentially make an overtake as they approach the straight. Gap between Maddox and Vettiger is pretty stable through that lap, only 2/10. So Vettiger not quite doing enough to get up into that battle for the lead.
Yeah, I can't say I haven't been on, but I'm rooting for Malloy. I think he deserves it. Like, driver of the day, who would you give it to so far for this race?
I mean, for the memes and for the entertainment value, Stacy, because that was really funny to see.
Yeah.
But I would say, I mean, Convoy had performed really well in both races. He moved up many positions in that first race.
Yeah,
kept
got the
clean
blend with that little penalty though.
Yeah, a little incident there, but not much in it. It's just one of those things that unfortunately happens. But he's done very, very well, I would say. But Malloy is certainly up there, and Vettiger has performed very well in both races as well. So. See Avitz in chat. Avitz, everybody is going well. It depends on who you ask, I think. Like, if you ask Maddox, he would say it's going well. If you ask Stacy, he would probably not give you the same answer. it's been entertaining racing, very clean racing overall. Couple of little incidents here and there, but certainly a better showing than Split Yellow and Green were able to provide yesterday.
Yeah, no, it's been a great start to the season for Split Blue so far, and Maddox has kept that gap out to 3 seconds, so Vertigo slowly but surely reeling him in. 4.5 minutes to go though, so what's that's looking like? We've got 3 more laps as Maddox is coming around to the final corner. And Paul Brett is still tucked in behind Bub now, so he's trying to get into that top 5. But yeah, Maddox coming across the line now.
We'll get an update on that gap. I think Maddox has crossed the line. Vettiger 2.9, so he took another 4 tenths out of him. Not doing enough with the amount of laps he has left, so unless Maddox makes a mistake here, he is certainly on for a debut win or a maiden win. And Malloy, I'm not sure if he has finished on the podium, but he's looking very strong to finish on the podium for this race.
Yeah, that's awesome, hey? And Gibbo not far behind Brett either, so another great drive by Gibbo too, actually.
Yeah, kept his nose out of trouble, and
that's what you got to do if you want to sort of, if you're thinking more long term, you're going for the season sort of podium, championship, whatever you want to call it, internet points. That is the way to do it. Just consistency is the main thing.
Yeah, no, it's well it's more than internet points. It's it's pride, it's dignity, it's internet points. It doesn't really matter in the greater scheme of things. But we see Maddox there has pulled out another 3 tenths on Vettiger there, so Vettiger with a bit of a poor first sector. Let's see if Britt has the speed in that McLaren to get past Bubna. Bubna, of course, does have the tow from Malloy ahead of him, so that is certainly helping his cause in terms of staying ahead of Britt. I don't think Britt will be close enough, and there's 50 minutes, 50. Whoa, okay, never mind. He will just send it anyway.
Wow.
And run rather wide. That potentially will allow Gibbo to get through, so that's going to make it even more difficult for Britt to move ahead as he pushed another car ahead of him.
Yeah, and I see that gap to Maddox, 2.5 seconds, so he is reeling him in quite quickly, but like you said, I just don't know if there's going to be enough laps. It's going to be very close, around the 2 second mark now, so...
So he's coming around the final corner. That's what they're doing, 207s, I think, so it's going to be very, very close.
Yeah, I think
to
last
see if
lap
there's
was
another lap.
206, so...
As he crosses the line with 208 remaining, how big is the gap? 2.4 seconds. He will have to potentially complete another lap after this.
Right.
I mean, if he had a gap of about 3 or 4 seconds, he could potentially slow down at the line and end it early, but he doesn't have enough of a buffer to play with.
Yeah, you would be risking it a bit too much, I think. Just dig it in and go for that one more lap. As we see a few more drive-throughs, I believe number 9 is J-Rads. So.
We saw Sean Bub now a little bit deep on the brakes, almost into the back of Malloy, but he manages to keep it safe. But it did, however, compromise his run through turn 2, allow Gibbo to close right up to him. And I think Bub now has potentially dropped out of that tow from Malloy now. Not sure how big that gap is. It's about 1.4 at the moment, so that will not allow him to have a tow, and that's going to give Gibbo a very, very good shot at getting past Sean Bub now here.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a nice clean exit onto the straight, and it looks like he has managed it. So Paul Brett just tucked in behind. He's definitely still in the mix to get up into this top 5, top 6, but yeah, as we see Gibbo looking which way did he go? Left. Not much room for error in that one, but he's up along the outside now. And we see Brett is ready to capitalize if anything goes wrong here. Not much room between all 3 of these cars, but they get it done nice and safely. And is Brett going to get it done up the inside? Gibbo does leave him room, but he will have the inside line into the next corner. So this is some great side-by-side in the reins. So much harder than it looks. Look at that.
Fantastic driving there. Well done by Gibbo to keep it around the outside there.
Deep on the brakes. Brett is just sticking there with him, and I think Brett is going to get it done into this right hand.
Careful of the puddle. This is where that puddle comes into play very much, as we see Gibbo very nearly into the back of Brett there. manages to keep it out of the rear, and Britt does get the overtake done, but that was fantastic driving by all three of them there.
Yep. And leader has commenced the final lap, so 1.8 second margin from Maddox back to Vetiger, so all he has to do is bring it home. One more lap to go.
You can see Convoy there as he has that 15-second penalty. The gap behind is 5 seconds and then 2 seconds, so he might drop down to around P8, I would say, maybe. Given my very, very low level math ability. So that is roughly where it should come out.
Yep.
Oh, who's that Kidman? Oh, when it shifted to an Audi, I was clenched up for a little bit before maybe Maddox had made a mistake, but luckily color is a different color. As he comes down the straight for the final time, I think he just needs to keep it safe through the final sector, and he will take his win.
Yep, all you need to do is take it easy at this point. You don't need to push. You got a nice little margin. Just bring it home. And I'm sure he knows all that. So.
Yep, he'll be having the Kovac strategy boys in his ear as well, telling him just to calm down, take it easy. He's done enough. Just keep it safe. And Malloy has done enough so far to get that podium position from Convoy after serving his penalty. So fantastic driving by him as well. I mean, he started in P4, or in P1, he's only lost 3 positions. And we see Robert Maddox in that Audi Maniacs vehicle of him, number 765, comes around the final few corners. He will take his maiden win in OOR Sprint Series. He did not put a foot wrong, had a couple of little slides just for the crowd's entertainment. But he's done enough. Vetiger gave it his best. He closed the gap, but not quite enough.
Beautiful drive.
He will take another P2. Fantastic drive there by Robert Maddox.
Yeah, no, it's a great way to kick off the season for Rob, so well done, and also well done to Vitiger. And Malloy hasn't crossed the line yet, but he won't be far away. And I see Petherbridge and Barrelon both get drive-throughs, so that's unfortunate. Plus 30 laps.
With another P5, he got P6 in race 1, P5 in race 2, I think. Paul Britt comes across the line in P6. He was leading comfortably, got the strategy wrong, lost a couple of positions, made up a couple of positions again. Callum Gibbons in P7, Ashley Vetiger P8, Ben Van Dam P9, Matthew Lamb P10 after serving that drive-through. Shane McLaws, Chad Sugden, James Lawrence, Robert Wenzel in P14. A couple of these guys were involved in some really tough battles throughout that race, and yeah, some very clean driving throughout the field.
Yeah, no, that was a great race. Like, how good were those conditions? The rain comes in and everything just goes out the window. We saw a few questionable strategies, but lots of good racing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear what Britt's logic was behind that as well.
The only thing I can think of is like what you already said, which was just stay out the whole race, because there was like he was way past the crossover point. But
yeah, I would assume so. But anyway, unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for him. But I'm sure Maddox won't be too upset about that. We see Petherbridge dives into the pit lane for some obscure reason.
Trying to serve his drive-through on the last lap, but you can't. I think that, yeah.
See Reed here in the battle for P22. That's a very second-hand looking Aston Martin there for Stockton as well. Reed tries around the outside. A little bit of a wiggle there from Stockton. They make contact. Will he be able to get a good run out of the final corner? He's on the perfect line for it. It's going to be a drag race between the Mercedes and the Aston. It looks as though he lost a little bit of traction there, but he is almost side by side. Stockton does enough to stay ahead, and they cross the line.
What a race.
That was a fantastic race there.
That was pretty awesome. So well done, Split Blue.
Yeah, fantastic. As it ticks over there, we will get a look at your final results for Split Blue round 1. And we see there Robert Maddox takes his first win, Joshua Vetiger in position number 2, and Zach Malloy in P3. Zach Malloy will also be the Pro-Am winner, with Sean Bubnow in P2 and Ashley Vetiger in P3. And in your AM class, we have James Lawrence, Horsell, and Stockton. And that is going to do it for us, Joshy. It's been an absolute pleasure, as we are joined by Justin Tate and Mr. Neil Alexander to take you through to Split Red.
Yeah, thanks for the company and thanks for the beautiful racing, Split Blue. Can't wait to see you all at Brands Hatch again next week.
Thanks, Jack.
In 2 weeks' time.
Great work.
Yep.
G'day, Justin.
Cheers, Mo. Enjoy.
Howdy, Neil. How are you?
Fantastic, mate. Just pressing a few buttons to get the next one up and going. It's been a while
Very
since
good.
we've shared the booth.
It has been. I've been a very, very busy man.
You're always busy, mate.
I've just made myself more busy than I've ever been.
That's a
But
good
I'm
thing,
loving
though.
it.
That's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm keeping out of trouble, and I'm having a lot of fun.
Are you still racing?
Anything? No.
Anything?
No.
Anything at all? Your
no,
mum, your
just-
parents?
No. I've got 8 puppies in the house right behind me at the moment, so they're 2 weeks old. So that's been the main priority at the moment.
I reckon.
They're doing laps of the pen they've got at the moment. So that is the bit of racing. I literally was making a joke that they were racing before because I had 2 of them chasing each other around the pen.
Oh, is that the second litter?
This is the last and the 4th litter actually. So
Holy
yeah,
smokes.
yeah, 4th. Now, she had 8 this time, so it's been pretty full on, but it's been a lot of fun.
Well, tonight's race is dedicated to the pups then.
Yeah,
It'll be carnage.
yeah. I'll name one of them after the winner or something.
Oh, done. So qualifying's already been done and dusted. Obviously, it's Super Sprint night. Things go pretty quickly. Well, that's the lead tonight at livery there by Combat Rat. Still pressing a few more buttons.
Quite nice. You enjoying doing the custom skins?
Oh, definitely.
Is this-
It adds a lot
Yep.
to lots of the series, and the drivers like to express themselves a lot more. So, still got
Right.
a few little teething issues with getting it set up, but interestingly, 27 out there tonight in the split red, even though there's 40 something signed up. Some people
Oh, really?
scared of Mr. Paul Ricard.
Yeah, it's an interesting track. I watched the end of that wet race, and it's hard with how high speed it is in the wet. Was that a dry into wet? It was, wasn't it? From what the commentators made it sound like.
The last race was, yeah,
Yes.
it went wet about 10 minutes into the race, or maybe 15 minutes.
It's not nice. It's close to the safety car.
Yeah, lucky you can ghost them now in the old safety car.
Oh, you
on
can.
formation lap.
All
Yeah.
right.
Nothing like the F1 game. Can you hear me now, chat? Can you hear me now? I think all the buttons are up and racing.
You sound perfect in Discord, so.
Oh, thanks, mate. Would you like me to call the start of race 1, or would you like to call it?
Oh, let's you take it off.
All right, you got the reverse grid.
Oh, okay.
Bad luck. So, how do you say that? Chris Sang? Looks like he's picked up, I reckon that's a debut podium here in OR Sprint. Lucas Burst P2, Tafiq P3, Cook P4. Saw Gia Coleman all the way at the back of the grid, so I didn't see what happened there. But lots of debutants in this split tonight. And it's been a fantastic round. Split green was pretty spicy last night. Split blue a lot better behaved, even in more tough conditions. G'day chat, how are we? But we wait as the safety car pulls to the side for the final set of races tonight for Split Red.
A bit of a gap there. Don't want to see gaps like that.
And we are away for Split Red. It is race 1 here of the Simrigs Sprint Series. Not too bad of a start there all across the board. We're going to go 2 wide into turn 1. Brett Cook looks like he might have snagged a position. He's going to try on the outside there, and the Honda gets the move done. But it's Sang and Lucas Burrs. That's a safety car. It is. So Sang holds on to P1. And we've got a safety car in the background. We can see a car around already. As they say, death taxes and safety cars. So that was short-lived.
That was a good little battle up the front. It was nice and clean for the first 5 or 6 rows.
It's one of those
Everyone kept
tracks
to their
where
own.
you just sort of trip over each other in the mid to rear pack, and it
Yeah.
doesn't take much to do that. But we'll watch the replay when I find it.
There are a few nasty curves at this track. It really, if you get a little bit squirrely, you end up going across the track and you go out of people's vision and mirrors and that sort of thing, and then easily barrel into people accidentally.
Absolutely.
Not the easiest first turn, and it's quite fast too. So when things go, well, usually on fast corners it bottles up quite a bit at the back. Everyone's expecting to be able to go, their third gear flying through there, or fourth gear, whatever they're using, depending on the car, and all of a sudden they're having to slow right down and get that bunch up. So
Yeah, is that flowy? It's a very flowy track. It feels like you're on throttle so much of it. You just barrel in those fast corners. Lots of
when the
bigger
circuit's in
chicanes.
this circuit's in this configuration, it's got to be one of the longest straights in the world, right?
I don't know the actual distance, but it's the longest in game.
Yeah, it's
I wish
super
the
long.
F1 did it, but I think it's too dangerous at the end.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is with the F1, with how much downforce they go, they'd reach peak speed, well, they'd gain 10 Ks now in the last half of the straight.
Yeah, true. They'd be right up there.
Although the drafting would be amazing, you'd probably see double passing.
Could build a tunnel at the end. This is
They
on
wouldn't
lap
need
1.
that, right?
Oh, it just happened
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a bit of damage going to be caused there. Just a nose to rear by the looks of it there.
It looks like Stefan Bachtold. A bit further up than we thought, to be honest.
Oh, gee, bit of checking up on the brakes.
Oh.
Yeah. There was 2 cars in a space where there was really only one, and
So we've had tell you what, that driver's going to be spanked. There's just going to be enough of that. This clumsiness. It's got to cease.
It wasn't malicious, but it was a bit clumsy. That's the truth.
But
It's
there's
alright.
2 races tonight, so there's time to redeem themselves. Safety car's probably only going to do 1 lap. He's picked up the field now. I haven't seen anyone pit.
Saw one car. Is a bit-
Stefan's pitted, yeah, 79.
Yep.
Bit of damage there.
Yeah, when you're at the back and you've taken some damage, might as well. And he did get hit
Oh,
multiple
wow.
times. Yeah.
He's already dead. Nah,
So-
he'll repair that in time for the safety car to
I like his
Snap
paint
him
job.
up.
That's a nice, it's clean paint job. Simple and clean. Hopefully it looks a lot better in a second.
we say it's clean. It's seen better days, but it's a nice neat colourway.
Looked like my road car at the moment. Someone decided to door me today. I was very happy.
Your car?
Yeah.
What happened?
They just got out of the car and smacked their door into it. I've got this massive white door mark down the side of my car now.
Were you there at the time, or it happened in a car park?
No, I haven't a car park.
That's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a good one for you. So, I normally park my car in the garage, or the driveway. So, one day I was like, oh, you know what? I'll wash your car. So, I went and parked my car on the street, put my girlfriend's car in the driveway. Literally, just as I started the hose, some muppet across the roads reversed into it. I think it was about $3,500 worth of damage to the rear quarter.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and I saw it happen, and I'm just... I couldn't believe it. I'm like, that didn't just happen, did it? Because literally 6 months prior, I had something else drop on it during a storm. So that's the second time it's been hit while it's been parked. I'm like, I didn't really react. I'm like, hope they got insurance because you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was pretty cool about it. He didn't want to take off. He was honest.
Now, most people, it's usually just goes well. Like I've only ever been a couple of little things. And it's just you fill out the paperwork and it sends off, and away it goes. That's why we have insurance. Almost, it makes life a lot easier.
If they did take off, I would have just sent the insurance company to just sort it out, find them. I was covered.
Yeah.
It's just what those things that happen. Couldn't do much to prevent it. but I do never want to park my car on the street again.
I had a friend who had a similar story. He was going to uni and he parked it's one of those teenage purchases, bought a nice Supra, imported and everything. It was his baby, but someone drove into the door of it while parking and drove off because it's a university campus. He got that repaired after not having it fixed for like 18 months, and like 2 days after he got it repaired, same door got driven into in the same car park.
Just your luck.
So he's just like, it's just staying that way. It just like it annoyed him. Here we go.
So hopefully, unlike your friend, this doesn't have a repeat of lap 1. Great start
Pretty
there
split
by
out
Chris.
front. Yeah, it was good. Very good getaway.
Great little addition here for Split Red.
Oh, he's did a bunch of cones.
Oh, well, you don't know that. He might be sober as a judge. Anyway, it's a fake P4. Sam Misson in the beautiful looking Nissan. You've done very
That is
well
nice,
there.
yeah.
Sushi Roll Motorsports. It's great to see.
Have we
this
had
out
any? I'm going to ask you. Have we had any mods? Not what is it? The balancing
BOP?
done to the game
No.
since BOP since when I raced.
Oh, yeah, it's been BOP updates. It's a very interesting topic of discussion on the OR Discord, but nothing out of the ordinary. Front engine cars, most of them suck pretty much a lot these days.
Yep.
Mercedes has had a bit of a revival though, and the Beamer's always been alright, but the other ones like the Bentley, Nissan, pretty horrible. Aston's easy to drive. I think that's what most drivers make their confidence in it. But as we come to the end of Mistral here, this is going to be very spicy. We've got Mitchell Beenditch in his beautiful livery as he's delivered every single season. Just goes around the outside there of Chris Marshall. Andrew Skinner, got a lot of drivers jumping up from the rookie series, which is great to see. Suds Racing, he can be a bit of hit and miss Zach in this Audi, but he's a sucker for punishment, and he's going to commit to it. Hopefully a bit more luck this season as he goes wide. That can't be a curse if I've already said he might fall off. But fingers crossed you have a good season here, Zach. Luca G. Coman from P26. He's up to 15th.
It's a great start.
Fighting against Andrew Skinner. So
Gee, they won't give it up.
just has to there. Andrew
And
Skinner's
loses his
brother's
spot,
racing
right?
as well. Where is he? So we've got another couple of brothers racing.
That's always awesome to see.
Oh, it is. I think Dylan started from P25 and he's up to P16. As you can see with the classes, there's a few silver boxes there, which just means that yet to be classified. A few drivers going to go straight to pro, I think, based on what I've seen in the first 3 splits.
Very good. This battle will not end. Side by side for ages there. Front sort of spread out a bit as the cars are coming up to temp.
I was going through the stats on my ACC account and seeing which track I've done the most laps on. It's this one out of all of them.
Of course it is.
I've got a love
Of course it
affair
is.
for Paul Ricard and Hungary.
You do.
I don't know why.
You do. I think it's because you always do well at Hungary and you just like this track.
Yeah. I've done alright at this track too, but maybe that's why I do like them. I just feel better at it. Petey Chalmers, another tactic?
Or
I'm not quite sure what it's called, tactic, unless he's changed the name, Tic Tac.
I was going to say, do you think that counts as a warning there when he went right across that curb? Or is that right on the limit?
There's little
We are halfway through. Keep it
little
up.
police boards on the side. Oh, anyway, that's going to send him off.
That's a bit unfortunate.
No, that's not how you spray a car. And I love the wheels, but I don't like where you parked it. Through no fault of your own there.
I gotta think, like, was he just in the blind spot? He was just across on the right hand side on the right quarter there.
It's a
Did he
tough
just not-
corner. It's a very, very tough
Yeah.
corner. A lot of people take that corner very wide. A lot of people take it a bit shallower. So, but your braking market changes a little bit. But if you're not aware of who's around you and you're not paying attention, that happens very, very easily.
I'd say this is a really nice interpretation of the Nismo skin. Like that's really cool.
I think it's an old school Nissan livery.
Yeah, but with the Australian flag there, like it's just
it's great.
It spices it up a bit. Cool.
I should know the history of it, but it's eluding me.
It wasn't on this model car, surely.
I don't think so, but there's one at the current IRL Bathurst 12 hour. There's a livery just like that on R35, so yeah, I'm not quite sure, but it looks great nonetheless.
IMO, that's actually the best event that runs in Australia at the moment. That is
The B12?
really good. The 12 hour, yeah. It's such a good event.
I can't wait to watch that this week. There's a few people over there from OOR, which is great to see.
Awesome. Yeah, I do miss its early days when it had everything out there. They had like 7 or 8 categories. They had like the production car style thing. So there was cars doing 3-minute 10 lap times out there with the cars doing 2-minute 5s, 2-minute 10s.
Just watching there go drive through there for car number 13.
Oh, bit of a tight battle for the lead here.
So Lucas Burrs, who finished in the top 5, or I think he may have finished 3rd in our Pro Series. He's being pushed and pushed here, which is what we like to see. Didn't have as much luck last season in the Sprint Series as he gets very wide on the Nissan. Great save.
Very good.
And who would have thought that the 2 Nissans are in the top 5? We'll take that.
Yeah. Oh, that's done really well. And that was some fantastic driving there. Must have just missed the apex.
It would have been close.
On the gas, yeah.
But I haven't seen many more yellow flags since lap 1. Hopefully that trend continues. Brad Cook got a bit of space around him. He loves his Pertec.
Yeah, that's an old school throwback to what 2000, the 2000 supercar.
Yep.
Somewhere around there. What was his name? Well, I'm picturing him, but I.
All I can think of is Ambrose or Bow.
Yeah, Ambrose. Yeah, it was Ambrose. Oh,
look, this time has he tried to save it twice.
Oh.
Those tyres are going to be square though.
Those guys out the front here are really. No, it's actually the same person, right?
Yep. Maybe he just rounded them off.
Yeah.
So Lucas is really struggling a little bit with the high speed corners.
I was going to say they don't simulate the grippy paint, do they, in the game?
It does actually, yeah, a little bit.
It does. Okay. Because that's notorious for tearing up tires when you slide across it. So.
I don't know if it's as bad as the F1 game when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, F1 game you're going to have a bit more of an effect, but
anything you do in that game turns your wheels to ice blocks for the next 5 corners.
It's so realistic. Well, I like this Castro livery. Great work there.
Yeah,
Nick.
that's
another throwback.
That actually looks good. That just reminds me of playing the PS2 and having the Pikes Peak car in the Gran Turismo.
Yeah. Well, we've got another drive through. Car 313. That could be for track limits if we haven't seen a penalty pop up. It's pretty early. Scotty Rochford. Going great guns.
You could easily do it though if you did it every single lap. It's in the same spot. You've got a bad habit. It's very easy to do.
Yeah, it used to be a lot worse, poor Ricard, for that. There's still a couple of corners that you can pick a double penalty up, but everyone's in the same boat. So if you're unfortunately going to cop it, you just have to wear it and serve it. Looking at the track map, at the back here, there's a bit going on. There's a few battle packs forming.
It sure is.
Stand board here with David.
Gee, just wait. Oh, he's going to let him go. Oh, he's running wide now. Yeah, you got to make that decision if the car in front a little bit early so you don't end up running off the track there.
Yeah, he's done it.
And now he's done it again.
Just in no man's land, the poor man.
Yeah, and for a lot of these people, you know, they may not have had a lot of racing experience, and being run slightly off the race line was just so much less grip. You're thinking, oh, I can still make the corner, and the car just says no, start sliding on you. Oh, this is an interesting move / line. Oh, good job not to go into the side of him. Clean racing.
Oh no, team on team deaths.
Oh, he stopped. Yeah, he's being nice.
It's going to be fights in the factory there. Stewie, track limits. Ankman yelling at Cloud livery. Very nicely played there, Stu. Even the diffuser, far out.
That is an interesting skin.
We need more Simpsons skins. Alright, back up to the pointy ends. Misson really putting the pressure here on Tafiq. I'm not sure how the Nissan goes in a straight line here. Let's go on board, find out what the top speed is.
He's getting a nice healthy toe here. He did appear to run a little bit wide though, so maybe didn't get the best exit, but the toe should really start to kick in now. It's about 280 and climbing. Here we go.
That Honda is seriously quick.
Yeah,
285 for Honda. Without a toe.
Oh, he's quick through here though. And he's gone defensive.
So what are you up to on our Bathurst 12 hour?
I am not entirely sure actually.
How's that internet situation going?
As you said it gave me a little bit of robot voice.
It did.
It's actually looking pretty good. I'm about to order Starlink, I think, because I'm on a test one right now. A friend of mine has a roaming one, and I've just borrowed it for a week or so to see how it is, because my house is just, the internet's just been getting worse and worse and worse. So I still have my office, I still could go in there, but I just don't have, I want to move everything back home now. It's just, since I'm not streaming, it's a bit silly having a studio, although I do want to just have it just to play games, but I find myself driving there and wasting petrol money just to go have a real life drive, have a drive in a race game. So I'll set up my stuff at home and have a good little blast. But yeah, most of my focus at the moment's just been on getting the Game Expo stuff going, which you're coming along to.
Yes, looking forward to that. We've just got to find some rigs.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get something together. I mean, definitely we'll get something going, even if we just run basic stuff. That's all good. It's all about the fun. We'll put the games on that are appropriate to what gear we have. Just have some wheels on some tables. We'll be playing some flat out. And
we're playing some Garfield Kart. That is top tier game.
Yeah.
Just looking at the leaderboard, looks like 313's been disqualified.
Oh,
and I'm going to assume that was for not serving the drive-through.
Yeah.
Which has happened twice tonight, I believe.
Yeah.
Bold strategy, don't think it's paid off.
No. Chris is backing his car into corners. I don't know if you've noticed, on every entry, just steps out beautifully. Like it looks like he's driving a go-kart.
It does.
Probably just has a little bit too much rear bias. That's where we'll be starting the last lap now.
It's going pretty quick.
The leader is on the final lap
Yeah, it
now.
sure has.
So saying P1, 1.8 seconds clear of Lucas Burrs, who hasn't really recovered from his two slides, but still having a great race. P12 at the moment is Mitchell Beenditch, which is the reverse grid pole position. We might just cycle down here. It's very tight here, Scotty Rochford.
Oh no, don't.
Not the Babby curb. That's a horrible curb there to come off. Babby found that out the wrong way last night. No damage done there though. Who's this here behind? Aaron Lee. But looks like Mitchell in P12 is No one near him, and it's an absolute disaster to lose that spot.
I think the tyres are going off on this car. He's really struggling to get it to turn in. Oh, yeah, and it has a slide there as well. No.
He was up at P6, P5, P6 at one stage, and he's about to lose another position. It's Brian Kong.
My guess is tyre pressure's wrong there. Like, that's, you can just see it's looking really hard to keep straight. Whether it was not turning or whether it was turning too much, it was a bit of everything. So sometimes you don't get the setup perfect, or you load the wrong setup altogether. That happens too.
That's always a
Not
disaster.
speaking from experience.
Yeah, I've put the wrong fuel in. The old quali setup for a race.
Yep.
Wrong pressures, wrong fuel, epic fails.
Yep.
This has been a great battle for the entire duration of the race.
Sure has.
But it looks like Chris Yang is going to pick up, I'm going to say maiden victory here in OOR. Congratulations there, Chris. Lucas Burrs P2, safety cars in the pits, and Brad Cook P3. Defeat
done.
holds off Misson, Curdy Awen, Johnson, Neighbour, Lee, Kong, Rochford, and Beandish by himself, the Hot Boys Club #1. He's going to be starting in a reverse grid pole.
Exciting. There's the pros are definitely showing up in this split. There's almost all of them, except for the couple that got their penalties and mishaps at the start. Was Beach told to have the spin at the start?
Yeah, he was the one that got
turn
spun.
around.
He's fought
Yeah,
back
he's come
well,
up
hasn't
10
he?
Yeah, 10 positions. Good job. In the Porsche too, which doesn't have the biggest straight line punch. I know because I did a season of that, and I remember vividly being behind a Honda and being in the slipstream and watching it pull away. I was just going the way. This is not fair.
Yeah, come back. It's saying that Giacomin's not in the pits, even though he has no choice, because he's clearly in the pits. So I think we're going to have to wait a little bit. Yeah, just have to wait a brief moment.
It does a 3-minute timeout, right? Is that what it does?
Babby Curb done me dirty.
Yeah.
Well, you get named things pretty easily at this track. Bender has a whole corner for one mistake. So you just have to wear it. Mistral Straight's my disappointment. I've turned my car off there in a race.
I don't know if I've had anything named after me yet, so I think I've done
Not
alright.
trying hard enough, mate.
Yeah. I've had a couple of little mishaps, a couple of little ones,
I remember
and actually
Spidey.
one big one. One big one
What was that?
during turn 1 during I've forgotten the name of the track. First corner's a right left and then a long sweeping right, and it was a nice race.
Yeah, you've made it a bit tricky there. Right, left,
I
and a
know.
long sweeping right. Was it Mazzano?
Yeah, it might be Misano.
No, right, left. Yeah, it's sweeping-ish right, that left.
Oh, sweeping is
Not
right.
quite.
Yeah, and then it goes into a double right into a left onto another straight. Yeah,
That's Mazzano.
right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I got it off that. I'm taking that.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, it was turn 1. I was stuck behind someone for a fair while that was blocking really hard, and I did a nice dive bomb on him, but the person in front had checked up like I thought there was more gap there, and so I ended up going up inside of that guy too, and at the apex it turned in and we hit each other at the apex.
Oh, no.
And I broke his steering arm, so it was like his car was wrecked. I got a drive through for it, but we still won our split category, so I was happy.
Happens to the best of us.
That nearly cost us the whole thing though, because we were doing really well.
I
That's
think
why
if you
I'm
race
gonna
long
get
enough, you're going to cause something.
Yep.
Especially
Yeah,
said,
it's-
if it's not malicious, it's just... As long as you learn
Oh,
from
yeah.
it as well. Some drivers just seem to still get caught up doing the same stuff.
Yeah. And the best thing I did was I went and said sorry to him afterwards, because I knew that I stuffed up, and I went and said sorry, and he was like, oh, I was really surprised that you had run into me. And then when I watched the replay, I sort of understood what happened. It wasn't like he just drove into my door, but when I was driving, I was just like, got T-boned in the door. What happened? Because he didn't realise we were battling behind. It's also night, you know. It's You don't really see things as clearly as you can at night time.
I think it's an important part of sim racing to, especially when you're racing against people that you've done for quite some time, that just to say sorry.
It's super important. Take it from someone that raced in real life. You actually cost that person thousands of dollars when you put it in the door of them. So, yeah.
Maybe
you
write a check while he's just saying sorry, or write a few checks.
No, in motorsport, it's whatever happens to your car, it's your car. Which is the hard part about motorsport. So, you get put into a wall or something, that's too bad, so sad sort of thing. So you still got to fix your own car.
Yeah, true.
Yep. There was an insurance company that tried to do insurance for a while for race cars.
Didn't last long?
If you raced 3 races without crashing, it wasn't worth having.
Oh wow, that much.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, I think it was like you had to have a pretty major crash in 3 races. So in other words, if you had like a 60 grand car, it was like sort of 10 grand a weekend sort of thing. Yeah, that was sort of the price you were talking about. So yeah, just no one used it.
Yeah, it's fair.
That being said, I've seen brand new cars get exploded in the first lap, and I've seen cars that are 40 years old and raced all the time, and they've had just a few little dings, a couple of panels fixed up.
A lot of luck as well. I remember the last Bathurst 12 hour. I'm fairly sure there was a Ferrari, or maybe a Honda, and maybe a Lambo that binned it on practice. And that was it. That was their weekend done. They didn't even get a qualifying in.
Yep.
Pretty nasty crashes too. And I believe it was the only Ferrari out there, or the only Ferrari that came to the event.
Yeah,
so it can happen. And that's obviously, the Bathurst is pretty notorious for being tough.
Sure is. That turn 2 is pretty hard.
And then 3, and then 4, and then next 20.
Yeah, Pat will get the reference that I just did. So
yeah, the Aston that rolled across the top was nasty.
Yeah,
I can't remember if that was in quali though, or the race. I can't remember. There was a lot of nasty.
Yeah, wasn't there a
stuff.
big one in the race that like someone slapped the wall and then 2 more cars followed him in, sort of thing? I think.
Oh, I can't wait for this weekend.
Yeah.
I wonder how many kangaroos we'll lose this time round.
It's one of the best events to go to and be in real life. It's such a nice sounding event. There's just so many different notes. I think we sort of lose that in Australia. We have the supercars and we just get all the same note, which is a nice note, but it's not. It's not a V12 and then a Turbo 6 and then a this and a that, and it's quite a beautiful sounding event.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
So isolated down here. Otherwise, I just drive up and have a look. But TV will do for now. Speaking of, looks like Jake Karlovsky, I think I said that right. He's I can't remember what platform he raced on. Maybe it was GT Sports. It was, I can't remember. But he's won a few things in the past, and he's just recently moved over to ACC. Got his Liquid Molly livery there, which looks fantastic. We've got Bathurst qualifying for our own 12 hour at the moment, and those times are absolutely spicy. I think the cut-off's going to be like 2:02.4 or 5, which is just unheard of in the.
We're having a cut-off, like as lap time wise.
No. Or... So, say there's 70 teams registered. I know that 60 were able to race here, but only the 48 top times for the teams will make it through, because that's how much the server has, and even if it wasn't more, it's just too much for the stewards and the teams out there. So a lot of
60 would be very busy.
Oh, there's only a few tracks you can do it on.
And people's computers would struggle a bit with that too. You know,
I
like it's a
don't
lot
think
of.
it's not too bad if you turn down the amount of cars that you can see.
Good point. Yes.
Yeah.
That has called me out though before.
Oh, it's
Having
it's
it low.
Definitely taking it. Caught a few people out,
Yeah.
especially when it's a really close start.
Yes. Yeah.
But you're obviously limited to what your gear is or your internet connection. Sometimes they'll play badly with each other.
I was going to say, I think the internet connection, surely it uses more bandwidth when there's more information being sent to you.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
probably-
It's still unloading packets. It has to load those packets and then send packets in the relation to where your car is to their cars. It obviously all happens very quickly, but it's always more data. As we see qualifying coming to an end, it's a nice short little one here. We call it the Super Quali for a reason.
that's
Zach,
drift.
it's snappy. Very snappy
Good
for
save.
Zach. I was saying that before. Need to get this man a setup that doesn't snap and want to kill him. Or get him out of the Audi.
Yeah, the Audi can be a bit like that, can't it? Just, man,
Definitely.
that's such a fun looking livery.
What's more nerve-wracking, being in the car on the Enduro or out of it hoping? I think it's definitely in the car. Once you're out of the car, you've got no control. And you have to try to relax in those situations because there's nothing you can do. But definitely being in the cars, especially at the start of a race.
The first couple of laps, yeah, the first couple of laps of your stint and the first couple of laps of a race is always the heart rate goes up and then the body ends up matching eventually.
Do you like starting the race when you do endurance, or do you prefer?
I have multiple times. Just when I've raced with Spidey, I've done a couple of enduros with Spidey. I was the guy that started the race just because I've got more experience, and it's paid off quite well. We've had it every single time. I've had a good start. I think my risk management is quite good at racing.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that part, if that makes sense. Like I actually, that's fun. Like I really, really enjoy just reading the traffic and going, oh, if I go to the left here, everyone's going right, and now I've got 3 spots for free, you know, or something like that. That sort of thing, quite a lot of fun. Or sometimes realizing you just bottled in and you've got to just play it really safe, you know.
Yeah.
It is motorsport. Sometimes you are just pushed into the car in front of you. You know, the guy behind
it's
you's
motor
not slowing up.
racing. These incidents happen. There's racing incidents, and plenty of. And we'll see that over the weekend at the Real 12 Hour. As far as nerves go, I used to open the cricket. I prefer opening the batting. I think you have nerves and you need nerves because it means you're engaged, you're switched on it. It's obviously how you use them. But I always prefer, I'm going to go out there now and not have to sit and wait for my bat because I feel like I got a bit too nervous waiting. I prefer just to face the first ball, and if I get plum LBW, so be it. But I'm out there, and as soon as I get the first ball out of the way, the nerves like just halve. I think it's similar to doing the lap 1 of a sim race. If you can get through that, or a real race, it's like, take a deep breath. Right, let's go.
Yeah. Do you get the feet shakes?
No.
You don't?
I get sweaty hands.
Okay. Yeah. I get enough adrenaline that I get like a shaky leg. I can, especially.
Like a little twitch.
Yeah, especially it's literally just adrenaline. So my body's just it'll twitch back and forth. Hopefully it's your throttle foot, not your clutch foot, when you're doing real life stuff, because you're trying to be very precise.
Yeah.
But I'll find I'll push my right foot down and I'll put my toe
30 seconds.
down and keep my heel up, and it'll let my leg shake a bit, and then after. You know what's funny? It's always, I reckon, the time I really feel it or notice it is turn 2.
seconds.
So it's always whatever track it's at. Like as I apply the accelerator, I can really feel my legs getting excited. Like the initial bit's a rush, and then once the race starts, is even more of a rush. Especially if something crazy happened turn 1 or exciting happened turn 1.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling that that's what I'm hooked on, is that feeling. That's why I like motorsport.
Yeah, that adrenaline.
Yeah. And it just makes you adrenaline junkie. So now I play paintball and compete in tournaments for video
Skydive?
games and online and stuff like that. Sorry?
Skydive or bungee jump?
I've never done either, actually. You know,
Which one would you
because
do
I
first?
like.
If you were to do one, and why is it skydiving?
Well, I was.
Fuck
You know, what's
bungee
funny?
jumping.
I was thinking bungee jumping's the really scary one
Yeah, fuck that. No thanks.
because it's like skydiving. There's that element of control. But to be honest, I reckon more people probably die from skydiving, surely, unless they're
Well,
you
you
know
really.
like some.
Well, it depends if you've got a parachute.
Yeah, because the parachute, you're relying on someone to pack it properly and all that sort of stuff. That's the.
Yeah, true. I just don't like the fact that I'm upside down bungee jumping and something's got hold of my leg.
Yeah.
That just
Yeah.
freaks me out a little. I don't know about you, chap. What do you prefer, sky jumping, skydiving, or bungee jumping,
Sure.
or sky bungee?
I saw a video of some troops jumping out of a plane once, and that happened. They all their harnesses didn't let go, or whatever the bit that pulls their chute, and they're all just dangling out the back of it.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was pretty scary.
Yes, not ideal. Magic TV is saying I was banned from Hinge for using a sim racing screenshot on the profile. That is. What's Hinge?
That's one of those. It's just one of those dating apps.
Ah, for
Just
using
a
a sim
version.
racing screenshot. Ah, you probably showed the Jag, and that's just carpool.
Oh, that. I get what they were doing. That that's not your real car, so you're lying.
Oh, really?
I bet you that's what it was. Because you show a photo of a car and then it's like, yeah, that's not a real car, mate. That's cheating.
Nosky says
You
this.
don't own a $500,000 car.
Oh, it depends if you've been it. Nosky says neither. Yeah, I haven't done either. But I'm saying if you pick one, which one would you do? Why the fuck would you jump out of a perfectly good working plane? That's a quote from someone, I swear.
I actually really enjoy ropes courses, like high ropes courses. That doesn't bother me. Whitewater rafting, I've done that a bunch. Really love that. So I do like those adrenaline things where you're a little bit out of control, but I like the control factor. So just jumping is like I'm just falling, if that makes sense. My brain's not saying, let's go get a ticket to do that.
Yeah, it's full on for me. Skateboarding is scary enough for Magic. Yeah, my skateboarding days are well behind me. Base jumping. All right, well,
Okay.
race lap 1 of a sim race at
An
Paul
amateur?
Ricard, just as bad as skydiving. So over to you, Justin. Let's have a clean one.
Skid is the amateur taking us away from pole. We've got an amateur, a pro, and a pro-am. Paul's going a little bit fast here. It's a bit of a break. Wonder if he's going to get pulled up for that, unless the others just didn't catch up in time. Green. That was a long time. We're away.
Oh, wow.
Pretty even actually here, although 4th place looked like he got a little bit bogged
What
up.
could go wrong?
Back of the pack is going really crazy. Oh no, we've got a touch. And around, not too bad actually. Oh no, as I say that, it gets worse. Should have shut my mouth. Don't know if we've got a safety car because it was just, oh, we do get a safety car. Never mind.
We're both 1 from 1.
Yeah, I think the first one was alright, but the second one just added a bit too much. It didn't look like too much contact though, so hopefully no one's got any crazy damage. Safety car again.
Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know. See what happened to It was before the corner, the first one.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So I'll try and find out what's happened.
From memory, it was it a white Nissan?
I think I'm going to say it was
Couple
it was
little
the
touch.
Tic Tac car.
The Castrol car got a
Oh, here we go. Found it.
little goes back. Here we go. Oh, so a slow start. That's why it's 4 or 5 wide here. And then is it? And then back. Yeah, he just. Oh,
Car behind. I'm not sure. Just
yeah.
moved over. You got to stop moving across, everyone.
Yeah. Hold your line.
And that's Castrol.
Okay. Okay. Oh, does he just lose it? I think he just lost it. Looks okay. Although he does have a couple of cars up his inside. Oh, he just gets a touch. The thing is, it was the nose of... It was too wide behind him again, and the other car was behind him. I don't know. He's running wide, so he doesn't get run into. It's sort of one of those...
I think
Because
you got to
people are
let,
just wanting their nose there.
It's a tough one because the BMW is probably thinking that other in the NSX
Yeah.
there's going to come a bit more inside, and then old mate's come
Yeah.
across like there's no car there. It's a tough one because
Yeah. That feels a bit racing. It's the other ones just shouldn't happen.
no.
But that's
that
like
one shouldn't
what we're saying. I think that's a bit of a motorsport one there. It's he's assuming there's one car gap, and he's driving like he's leaving one car gap, and the other guy's leaving an extra car gap for the car up inside. So yeah,
Yeah, I
sometimes
agree with you
ultra
there.
cautious can cause a crash too. So like if one person's going ultra cautious and the other person's not, they do something you don't expect.
Race starts. I think I don't know if it's a nerves thing or it's an inexperience thing, but a little bit too much moving over. Like obviously, if you get a great start and the car in front of you is absolutely bottled, there's a big difference in speed. You're going to have to drive around because it's safer. But once you're at speed, you're over 150, you're over 120, just changing directions all the time. In congestion's always going to end up with the type of thing we just saw before. So yeah, hold your lanes. Survive.
Yeah.
Tom Kidman said race 2 split blue was safety car free. That is correct. It was a great race.
Well done to them.
But it's a Paul Ricard thing. It does happen quite often. It's not a runoff here. Where are we off to next? We just sussed it out.
Yeah.
We do have Brands Hatch on the calendar this season, which is going to be spicy.
Oh yes. Some Browns hatch.
Which is next? Which is next? It's right.
Oh, okay.
So next week's Mount
What?
Panorama Endurance. Then we've got over to Brands Hatch.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
What car's going to get a brown hatch?
Porsche, probably.
Yeah. I did actually. We did do it the season I did it as well. I think.
I
remember
haven't
racing
ridden it
it.
for so long in this game that I'm not quite sure.
Pretty sure I got a chance to drive there. Is that someone unlapping? What's happening there?
Maybe he didn't press start or got disconnected. He was one
Yep.
lap down, yeah. Potentially. Got
That's
disconnected.
awesome.
It's going to have to be
Are
a
they gonna do it?
speedy boy to catch back up.
Yeah.
But he might be
he's-
given that opportunity.
That'd be nice of them.
There was Brands 3 seasons back. I think so. I'll try and find this sheet. Try and guess the top 3 circuits that we have raced at in OOR Sprint Series.
Sprint Series.
Find the sheet.
I don't know.
It is
But to be-
probably what you guys will think it is.
Well, Bathurst might be one of them. But Silverstone is probably one of them.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
Silverstone is the top one. All right,
Yep.
never mind. We'll come back to that. Safety car is in this lap. Justin, take us away again. Best of luck. Round
Alrighty.
2.
Try not to curse them again.
Don't have to try
Have
very
had
hard
a
here,
little
Split Red.
bit of shuffling. They're not super close together, although we're going the slow route. Okay. Oh no, someone jumped the gun a little bit there. Oh no, they're all jumping the gun. Gotta pay attention, boys. There we go. Alright. Skinner, that was a nice work by him. I was
he's
worrying
allowed to do
for it.
that. He's allowed to do
Yeah,
that.
he is. Allowed to go whenever he wants. Oh man, it's causing some jostling at the back here though. They're cleanly through so far. Oh, bit of a cone going flying in the back there. It's side by side now. Into turn 3.
Yeah, the only
Dive
thing
on
with
the
the
brake.
start that you shouldn't be doing is just changing your speed massively.
Yep.
So
Yeah, if you
just
hold
not
that
go.
that 80 or whatever it is, and you don't accelerate, then lift off again, that's perfectly fine. Nothing worse than acceleration and lift off. But
The weaving may get looked at by the stewards.
mhm.
But
Yes, you have to stop weaving. That's true.
yeah, that should happen. When the safety car is called in, you've got to stop weaving, warming your brakes. Because you just get a Magello then.
Yes. I
That
was
was
thinking
what a
that.
disaster that was. Couple of moves
Okay.
here.
Yep, we've got one up. Oh, second place.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
That's Beandish.
Yeah. Bean just got tapped by his fellow McLaren. The guys at the back show how it's done here. BMW and Nissan still side by side. And they're going to be side by side one more corner. Or maybe not.
Oh, runs him really
Running
deep.
him super wide. Oh, that's a Honda, sorry.
Rochford, P4. He's got Lucas Spurs right in front of him, next to him.
Nice. Although he's going to be stuck here on the outside. But he pinches him down. Clean driving.
Good exit there from Burrs.
Yeah. Just pinched him enough, but not enough to make it too hard. Clearly,
AL
I'd say an
says,
experience. Oh,
lucky it's virtually impossible to hit the wall here. It is virtually impossible, but I've seen it happen 3 or
You
4
can
times this
snap,
round.
though.
Oh, it's the
Yeah, you
snap,
can
in
snap.
Sector 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So much speed that, yeah, if you correct a slide and then it grips and goes the way you're pointing, you just fly off the track at 150, 200 k's an hour, and you might not stop before you hit the wall.
So drive-through penalty there for car 75 for that lap 1 incident.
Yeah.
That might be the one on the straights.
Yes. No, he wasn't that far up, was he?
No, he wasn't.
Surely not.
It's a different car.
Yeah, that's a different car. Interesting, they must have thought... Was it said lap 1, did it?
Yep.
Unless it was under the safety car, he did something, like hit someone or
That's very
something.
true.
Yeah. We don't see everything.
Big gaggle of silver class drivers in the middle.
Yeah. They've all moved up collectively. Together, that's quite impressive.
Bit of a bottleneck here at the moment.
Yeah, amateurs still hanging on. Skinner's doing a really cool job. Oh, went to have a look there.
Yeah, it's that corner.
It's one of those corners that, yeah, if you drive straight, you just end up alongside them, but if they don't move, you just drive in the back of them. So, yeah, oh, a bit of a slide. Oh, someone's actually wide there. It's going to end up being too wide here. Squeezing down. Again, oh, little touch. Sit on that. Drive-through's being served.
Kerneman's in.
That's unfortunate. That's going to set him right in the back.
Cook drives around the outside here at turn 1 on Rochford. Side by side.
That's nice. That's
Bit
really
of
well
a wobble
done.
there by Rochford. He's gone board with missing behind.
So it's just,
bit of
oh,
a nudge. Didn't have as much room
Okay.
as he thought he did, and Rochford's really going to pay. Just 2 position.
Yes.
Barker's going to slip through there.
it's going to be 3 positions down, and maybe even 4 here as more cars are coming.
He's in
Oh,
no
this is
man's
where you get
land.
hung out.
Another
Yeah,
one.
you get hung out to dry, and it just this is what happens. You lose all that momentum, and everyone just keeps pinching you on the apex or running wide or that. Surely that's not allowed. That's a
And
fast
because
off
of the
track.
angle of coming onto Mistral, he's just lost all that runoff.
Yeah.
He's going to lost another couple of positions.
Oh no!
Scotty Rochford's been handed 6 places, I think, in as many corners.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Just going to put that behind him.
But that is racing. I remember seeing a lot of that sort of stuff in go-karts when you're all so close together, someone just pushes you offline and then the next car and the next car, the next car, they're all just there. Oh, that's a bit wide. Oh, he opened up the wheel there because he was worried maybe he was going to get run into and just running a bit wide.
It's like F1 as well. If you in a side-by-side battle and get a bit squeezed and it's in a big field, before you know it, you're like, oh, hang on. I'm at P12.
Yep.
Or if you're Kevin Magnussen getting the meatball flag. That poor bastard.
Yeah, just every time, just a little bit of his front wings gone. Meatball flag done. I don't know. It's not that dangerous. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's every sport's gone that way, hasn't it? The super soft, super safe, that sort of stuff. If you follow any of the contact sports and all that sort of thing, it's just all, I don't know. It's a little bit of loose carbon fibre, and it's not.
Oh yeah, it's
not going to murder
but then
anyone.
they allowed like Hamilton to finish a race with basically 3 wheels.
Wheels, exactly.
Like, well, hang on, which one's more dangerous?
Yeah.
It's just a consistency thing. Gorilla Snapper setting OOR an invoice, mate. I will do that, and I'll pay you a nice coffee.
I've just realised with our Mr. Skinner's chopped to 5th. What happened there?
Maybe
Wasn't
another Rochefort moment. I think he was. Actually, I don't know. That's a good question.
He was first, like within the last minute or two. So it's getting rounded up a little. What was this? Oh no, this is 3rd, going into 2nd.
Sam
Boys.
missing in the Nissan.
There it is.
The Sushi Roll Motorsport Red Rocket.
Nicely done.
Oh,
Oh.
very wiggly there in the Honda. Looks like Jer Coleman has got past Aaron Lee. It's hard to watch Aaron Lee. It's in that car. I don't remember him driving the McLaren. I always think of Aaron Lee as a Porsche boy. He'll be in the Nissan at Bathurst.
Very cool. Alright, so Nissan. Two of my favourite liveries actually right next to each other. I like both these liveries. This is nice.
I've been super impressed with the level of liveries since we've added that option in OOR. And whilst we're talking about it, a huge big shout out to Glenn Germain for all his work in creating that livery sync bot and all the stuff with the liveries. There's obviously more stuff he's working on, but I know that has taken a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat and tears to put that together. So if you get a chance to thank him on Discord, please do. It's just amazing some of the volunteer work we have in OOR.
Yeah, that's
And,
awesome.
There's a discussion chat in Sprints regarding the livery sync. Got any questions or issues? Just post them in there. Keep it civil. Glenn also owns a 12-gauge shotgun. So anyway, I'll leave that there. And Mr. Peabody. He's probably asleep at the moment. He's in New Zealand.
Look at this.
This is a battle and a
This was
half.
very close. Yeah, it was very close. Chris trying to make up for some
He's in no man's
earlier
land himself here.
couple of little mistakes. Yeah, he's put himself on the wrong line here, and he's putting his wheels in the marbles too. Right,
And Barker's not giving him an inch.
He's made the corner though. Not too bad. Wow. Both aggressive on the wheel. Right, some filing through. Oh, that boom. Yeah, made me think something flew off a car. Oh, nice little dive here. Oh, he's gonna touch. Okay, okay. Yeah,
if I'm Waitan behind here, get ready for a few.
Gee.
That's a slide.
They're
That's a
all
touch.
going
That's a
here.
deep. That's brakes. That's around the outside. Oh,
Just-
making it work.
They're all just leaning on each other ever so lightly.
So
There we
Andrew
go.
Skinner is on debut here in the Sprint Series. Welcome aboard, Andrew Skinner, moving up from the rookies. Tell you what, he's doing a great job here. These two are very quick.
Yeah, what he got served, he gave back. I was pretty impressed with that. I'm always kind of out for, you know, you get a little bit of a push wide. It's like, oh, just lean on your door as well.
I wish the contact model was a bit more lenient, like that
Yeah.
it was in this game.
It
That's
can be brutal.
a lot of people know what I'm talking about in that term.
Yeah,
It's just-
yeah. Sometimes it just says you just took a billion
Yeah,
points of
you
damage.
should be able to lean on the cars a little bit, especially when you're
Yeah.
side by side 20 centimetres away, but
Yeah.
what can you do?
This is cleared out a bit. This is nice though. That was a good, entertaining bit of racing.
Three
That was
books
cool.
for that. Yeah, if you come to the Game Expo, Babby, I'll import some Farmers Union Strong.
Mate, I can put.
You have a little bar mini fridge
Yeah.
somewhere, and I'll bring it.
Mate, the VIP lounge has alcohol. What are you talking about?
Done. Oh, Skinner,
Ooh, yeah.
just on the offline there. Lost a couple of
Yep. That's okay.
seconds. But top 10 should be his target, and there's no reason why he can't do it. 22 minutes to go. Lucas Burst leads the way.
Yeah, Lucas was really fast. Really fast in the first race too. Just had a clean run through now.
A mayhem of M4s is the word you're looking for there, John? Mayhem.
Yeah. I think it's alright. Well, it nearly was a murder though.
It nearly was a murder.
Yeah, that was fair but hard racing. I quite enjoyed that. I thought it was nice.
Oh, same. Yeah, it's easy for that to go pear-shaped pretty quickly, but they did very well. Just settled down a little bit this race, which is good to see.
So Miss and Lee and Cookie are all really fast. They're all, oh geez, a little bit deep there though. I love watching the different ideas on where to go fast and where to go slow, sort of thing. You can see how that gap just changed like 3 times in 2 corners. That was a good little run. How it used the speed of the Nissan.
Well, the McLaren's very good around here, so...
Oh, he's got a good draft. It's looking pretty fast. Yeah, he's going to get him by the end, I think. Definitely. Look at that closing speed.
That is crazy.
He's just going to drive around the outside. Be ahead of him before the apex.
Oh, well, I wouldn't expect that quickly. I thought he would have had a little bit more overlap.
Unless he has more downforce or something, that's all I can really think of.
McLaren's very strong through here.
Oh,
as he goes a little bit deep. Oh, Misson goes deep as well.
Actually, yeah, it
Here
looks
it comes.
like he missed that first apex. He's going to send it. No, he's not close enough.
So these 3 drivers will be featuring at the Bathurst 12 Hour. Fairly sure their teams are in that qualifying bracket. Misson, Lee and Cook. Who's saving their laps for tomorrow? And why are you so brave?
How many laps do you get to set?
35.
Okay.
And that includes out laps and invalid laps.
Ooh, okay.
So how a lot of people are doing it is they're doing 4 to 5 lap stints. Obviously practicing off the server, but
yeah, of course.
Been very impressed with the pace across the board, to be honest. It's frightening.
Yeah, with what you were saying, that's some pretty fast times.
Maybe 9 drivers in the 59s, maybe? Which is...
Wow.
Yeah, which is crazy. I think it's 9, that's a guess. But we'll announce the top 48 over the weekend during the IRL event.
Bit of a squiggle there. We change to Chalmers.
Chalmers just got past Johnson, or Johnson trying to fight back? Utama,
It's going to be
Chalmers
tight.
and Johnson, yes. I think Chalmers was the one that was tagged on lap 1. Fighting his way back.
Cook got past Lee at the end of the straight as well, so that sort of sorted itself out. Here we go. Gonna end up. No, it's not. It's a good little comeback here from the McLaren of, is it Johnson there? Yeah.
Yep.
He's after his mishap in turn 1, getting turned around or losing. He got touched, yeah, turn 1 of the race 1, so now he's fighting his way all the way back. Come back half the field.
It's a quick man.
Oh, no!
Is that a curse?
That was
Justin Tate is the name. Lots of pain is the game. Oh, Luke Johnson. There's an invoice coming your way, Justin.
Yeah.
Love it. Not the crash, just love the curse. It's painful.
That was a curse. Sorry, mate. Yeah. He had a slide and caught it himself, but then, yeah, because he was going so slow, he just got booped. Sometimes that just happens.
Magical music. Who are you? Sorry, sir. Who are you racing? Struggled in the Ferrari? Look, I'm very similar to that. I have driven the Bentley pretty much the majority of the time on this game, and when I go into another vehicle, it's just feels a bit off. But I don't get much seat time in this game, so that's my own fault. But stick with it. Also, the Bentley's absolute bucket at the moment in this game. Make Bentley mediocre again. It's never been great, but
I remember it being good at the German track. What was that one?
the Nürburgring.
Yeah, that I think. No, it wasn't too bad there. No, what's the other German track?
There's no
Start.
other in game. There's two more Belgian
there's no
tracks.
German track? Oh, Belgium track. Maybe it was
Was it
Belgium.
Zolder?
Yeah, it was Zolder. Sorry, that's the one. It's not knowing my flags properly. It's just picture
Same
again,
colours.
mate.
I'll pay it. I'll allow
Yeah.
it.
Yep. The same colours, I am right. Okay, so I definitely did just get the flags.
Just got the direction.
Yeah. So
Good racing tonight there, JC. It's great to see you back out there. And a banger livery. Hope your foot's going well.
oh, that's a nice little dive there. Well done. See if we can get those positions back. A little bit wide though. But then a squirm, the car behind. Getting that power down. Not going to be able to come back.
Drive through. Wotan has picked up a DT. I think that's track limits.
He had a 15, and now it's been upgraded to a drive-through.
Well, there you go. Oh, that's good on you, Yoda, out there, if you're listening.
Someone's
Yoda's
dropping
champion.
down really fast. What's happened here? Oh, no, that's not someone dropping down, my bad. Pay attention.
I thought you were going to get the win tonight, JC. I had a surprise little pack for you sending over, but then I ate it. Nah, Yoda, ripping person. Literally ripped person. You could bench press your car, I reckon.
So, that's very ripped.
Matchbox, no, definitely. No, he's a big boy.
A 1/6 scale car. So,
Rasmus can't drive a right-handed car. Well, please don't come to Australia anytime soon. Mind you, there's enough bad drivers out there you probably wouldn't even notice. Whoa, that's
Blend
a
right in.
sense, Stewie. Stop
Yeah,
yelling
I'll
at the clouds and start sending. Sixes are out. That's Brian Cole.
a 15-second penalty. Yeah. Chris is just driving away.
It's funny, last night I just broadcasted last night, but I forgot to mute my Discord, so
Okay.
the stream couldn't hear me.
Yeah, but the other.
But the other commentators could, and something happened on lap one, and I said, "For fuck's sake," really loud, like laughingly to myself, and I think I scared the absolute shizing out of one of them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why did they stop talking? And then it clicked. I'm live in their office.
Yep.
Quite funny.
Oh, dear.
Yoda could bench the Bentley. Oh, can he bench the Bentley with me in it?
That's a weird fantasy.
Yeah, out of all these cars, I like the Bentley because if you own it in real life, it's just it's just FU money.
Yeah, I was
Like
going to
it's
say, yeah.
not really a sports car.
My brain just says it's a 65-year-old man that has
Yeah.
one.
It's like owning a
I just-
Rolls Royce.
Yeah, it's in the Rolls Royce category for sure. You don't see them at all on the road.
No. And 400k, they're pretty pricey.
Yeah, there's a lot of good cars you can get for that amount
If
of
you
money.
could pick out of all the GT3 cars that are out there tonight to own, which one? That applies to you as well, chat. We've had this discussion before, but I just love hearing the opinions.
I'd either have the McLaren or the Porsche. I think just because I like those cars. I think they're
Yep.
quite cool. You know what I
I've
mean?
seen the McLaren a lot down where I am. It does look
Yeah.
stellar.
Yeah, the McLaren's just a really cool car. The McLaren F1 is my dream car, which is never going to ever happen because there's 100 of them.
Did you say the
When
P1?
No, the McLaren. Oh, you would take the P1, did you say?
No, what did you take? Sorry, I missed that.
The McLaren F1 was
The
original.
F1.
Like,
Ah, yes.
that was my childhood dream car because it was just like the best car ever made for like 10 years straight. Pretty much.
Growing up,
It
I
was the
always
fastest
wanted a
car.
Testarossa, but I
Oh,
think
yeah?
they'd be an absolute piece of crap to drive. I honestly think it's just the looks and the historic nature of the car.
Mhm.
I don't know. I like the McLaren Senna.
Mhm.
But out of these cars, I still think I'd take the Bentley.
Oh,
Oh, speaking of,
what's happened?
oh,
He's
we
still
tried
wobbling.
everything to save that, Chris.
You know what that looked like? That looked like a
Sadness?
wheel coming off. I've had that, as in the wheel coming off your thing, because the way he corrected after looked like he was trying to push the wheel back on, if that makes sense. He just stopped and then returned to pits
Yeah.
as well. That makes me think he's had a hardware failure there. Take it from someone
trying
who's
to find
still
out
plays
just
with the wheel on the table. That's scary when that happens.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, just sadness there. What have we got in chat regarding what you drive? Zombie Butt, every day, Porsche.
Yep.
Like an Audi R10 with a wide body kit for show. Yeah, pretty tough looking.
Actually, the Audi would be nice. Like that would be a head turner.
I've been in is it an R4S? Can't remember what, but a wagon version. Oh, jeez. Second fastest car I've been in.
Very
It was
cool.
a rocket. A hotted up Mini Cooper. I can see JC driving that. It'd have to have like a bright stripe on it.
Would they cut a hole in the roof for his head?
Is it?
Stick out the
I
top.
don't think his massive shoulders and neck would fit in a Mini Cooper.
That's why I said just cut a hole in the top. Don't just-
He'd crack the door trying to open it. Speaking of big men, in a nice way, that is. My dad used to own a little Mini. And they fit 9 basketball players in it once. The gee whiz. Tells me that story all the time, like it's impressive. I'm like, what are you doing? That sounds interesting. Continental Supersport W12, please. V12 for the Gibbo. Gibbo wants some sound.
So we've got another little pass happening.
Nice. Sit
Nice
down a little
and
bit. 10
clean.
minutes to go.
It really has, yeah.
Well, also, I think JP mentions what cars would you like to see make a GT variant? I threw up a couple. The Kia Stinger. I reckon that'd
Yeah.
be... They don't really race, I don't think, anywhere.
Not really.
The Hyundai Genesis GT3. Check that
Oh.
out. It looks mint, like
Yeah, I
a
was gonna
Lexus.
say. What's the Yeah, the Hyundai has a couple of ones that are pretty sporty.
Yeah, they're improving out of sight, Hyundai.
They're really popular too. I looked at the stats of how many they were selling in Australia, and 2 of the Korean makers are in the top 5 most
Oh,
popular
wow.
cars in Australia. Yeah. Which is, what's that? That's Kia and Is it Honda? No. I can't remember. One of them was top 3 and one of them was top 5 or 6. They were like right up there. But Toyota just thrashes everyone. And then, yeah, I couldn't believe how little Honda sold in Australia. They're actually talking about pulling out.
Oh wow.
They're selling so little. Yeah.
But
They
we
sold
are a
less.
relatively small market down here.
Yeah. No, but they're getting absolutely blown away by other cars too. Like a Honda, I would put on par with like getting, you get a Civic. It's like getting a Corolla, but it's like everyone's getting the Corolla, and not the Civic.
Wow. Yeah, Corolla's very popular. I think we're getting my old one. Well, I'll say old, just not brand new.
Yeah, exactly. You get one that's
Just
in
good
the last
size,
5 years. And
easy
it's
to
fantastic.
easy to work on.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Could be
No
dramas here.
reason.
Rocheford's fighting back. He just lost the position here to Graham.
Sure.
Side by side. Oh, Zachy Graham is driving out of his skin. He must have
That's
heard me
really
sledge
great.
his Audi. And then he gets slammed.
Yeah.
Not quite a curse. Oh, he just gets a little bit wiggly on exit there.
Chalmers is taking advantage of this though.
If there's another car worth Googling, it's called the Mazda RX Vision. It's a concept car, but it looks like it's a GT style.
Oh yeah, is that the like almost RSA 8 thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So good. But obviously, I don't know how much money it costs to develop a car into a GT3. It has to be a road car first, doesn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
So poor Zachy Graham's, he lost 2 positions there.
What would make a good GT car? I'm just trying to think of like. I don't know.
Corvette
That's
is
not-
obviously up there. Dodge Viper, I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that still does its thing.
That's not
lots of
GT car.
what's in the Dodge Viper? Chevy in? Is it Chevy? Or is it Dodge engine? Can't remember. Holden?
Dodge
Would Holden be a good...
I don't know, GM. Well, they're Corvettes. Anyway, so like the Holden. I don't know if there's any really. There's no real Commodore style cars out there anymore that they're producing, are they?
Not really. The closest
No.
out there would probably be the Lexus. Maybe. Similar shape and style. Dodge Viper ended in 2017, okay, rip. Well, here we go. Here's an overtake chance here. Kernowan and Hitama. Hitama does have a 10-second penalty. Drag race here. Audi v BMW. The BMW says thank you very much.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna be
don't do that. Don't
That's
do
spooked
that,
him a
so that's very cheeky.
Oh, that's a bit what though. They've followed each other a bit there.
If you did that in an F1 car, you would be absolutely obliterated.
Just take all the air off the front wing.
It's okay to do that if you've got the gap beforehand before the braking zone, but you can't do it right in front of them. You've got to leave that track width. But we haven't really put that in the rule book properly. It's just the commonish rule that I know of. But no one died, so it's all good. I've always wished someone would buy the Holden license and enter F1. With Holden or just enter F1? Because I don't know what you're going to be doing engine-wise because they don't make them. I think Opal's been making Hondas for the last 4 years. Holden haven't even been doing it.
Yeah.
My dad's got one.
Everywhere. They're actually in a lot more cars than I think of.
Jake and Benjamin, teammates, having a great little time here. Side by side. Oh, a little bit squirrely there from the
Nice.
inside. It would have been Jake.
Not sure who's
Yes,
who.
Jake's the inside.
You go. Oh, around the outside, getting the brake.
It's great to see the Cynical Sim Sports team out there, and they're trying to qualify for Bathurst for their first event.
Oh, he's balked himself up. Now it's side by
Yep.
side again.
Out in no man's land, gets in the blue stuff. Oh, I can't watch. He's leaving him a lot of space.
Yeah, I was going to say if he squeezed down a bit, he would have been a bit further up. He's going to try and use the side draft a bit. Is that effective in this game?
Yeah, it does a little.
Here we go. More side by side. They're going to spend the whole lap side by side. He's going to be able to come across. He decides not to. No, there he is. There we go.
Maybe they're playing silly buggers a little bit with each other. Big breaks there. But they've sorted it out. Chalmers looks like he's got past Rochford, or... Yes, he has.
No, Chalmers has been just slowly coming forward. He's been doing a good job.
Yeah, great recovery.
He was off in the first corner as well, is that right?
He was off before first corner. I think that was the car that got
he was the one spinning around.
sent to Mars.
Yeah.
Someone said a Volvo 850R. Is that the wagon? The turbo wagon? The absolute sleeper? When I was looking for a wagon, that was on my list. What do you drive, Justin? You drive a smart car, don't you?
No, I drive a Prius.
Do you?
Yeah. I was a driving instructor and I kept it after I finished up because it was, my wife really liked it and it's cheap.
Did you send it?
Oh, occasionally. My dad had one and I did a lap of, it's done a lap of a bunch of racetracks actually.
Oh, nice.
We're doing cider laps. Yeah. My sister still has it. That was a bit of fun. Yeah, they're actually just it's a Corolla, but it's a slightly more fuel efficient. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's got heaps of space too, like unbelievable amounts of space. I can take so much equipment with me when I go to gaming events and stuff. It's fantastic. That's the thing probably why I kept it over my Civic that I had.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. This man would drive a Prius quick as well. Lucas Burrs in the Nissan. 7 seconds up the road from arch split red rival Luca Giacomin. Looks like Tafiq is going to hold off missing on this last lap for P3.
Probably. Misson's driving super nice. Misson's such a good driver. I love watching him drive.
Who's that?
Misson's a great driver. I love watching him drive. Yeah.
Definitely.
I was in his rookie series when he was coming through. Yeah, we had some great battles, and he was a lot quicker than me. so I get to race him until he did some consistent laps, and then he'd drive away from me. I'm like, okay.
No, he's a talented man. Oh,
and he's just got better. Oh, don't forget there is someone there.
Yeah, exactly. You can't go any further off the track.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Gonna be a bit of a duel into the end. Are they close enough? Not really. Bruce.
He's going to pick up the win here. 54.2. Fastest lap of the race by this man. And Lucas Burrs is going to win race 2 here in Split Blood. Well done, Lucas. Look at Giacomin.
Neither has finished the race.
Didn't have the race 1 that he wanted, but he's definitely made up for it in race 2. Nice clean race, picking up the second step. And Tafiq, I might have had 2 podiums this outing. I can't remember where he finished race 1, but I'm pretty sure it was high. Missing Cook, Sang was race 1, race winner. Lee, Barker, like I said, a better race 2, which is good to see. Bushtold is the same deal, and Skinner is going to hang on.
He is.
For a top 10 in the AM class.
Chalmers is running him down real hard though. He's had a great race. Really well done by him.
Yeah, Burrs has been rocking some very good liveries. He's still going at it though to the finish. He's going to hold on.
Race. I'd say a pretty good racing there by the split red.
You could feel the nerves in race 1. It was a very nervy race, similar to Split Green. But they definitely did sort it out in race 2. Well done, Zachy Graham.
Got some donuts, yeah. Nice
They're good
done.
donuts too.
They are. Nice and tight.
Extra bonus points there for Zach.
The last couple come across the line.
Brad Skinner didn't quite fare as well as he did in race 1.
No. He got a drive through, right? Did he?
I think so.
Drive through, yeah.
There we go. Fix that.
Awesome.
Right, let's just take a bit of a look here in race 2 results. Overall class, Burrs, Gia, Coman, Tafiq. Pro-Am, we've got Barstold, Chalmers and Rochford. AM class, Skinner and Williamson. And in the unclassified, Zachy Graham, Hutama and Karlovsky. And that is round 1 for Asia Pacific in the Simrigs Sprint Series. Thanks for joining me tonight, Justin. It's been great to hear your voice and call with you again.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks, chat. It's I just love watching some good racing. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad Split Red turned out to be something exciting. Well, are we getting more donuts? Are we? No. But yeah, that was some good clean racing. There wasn't too much misbehaving out there. Just a couple little, like you said, nervous mistakes. I think at the start. And so
Are these the worst donuts you've ever seen? These
yeah,
these are the no nuts.
How to turn off the traction control, right?
Yeah, turn it off, Luke. Get those revs up.
Yeah, he's got the wheels spinning. Keeps gripping up on him.
He's not going to want to watch this back.
No. He's just doing flick spins. Oh dear.
Well, that'll do it for tonight. Yeah, thanks again, mate. Thanks again, JP, for your work earlier. Same to you, Joshy Breen.
There we go.
We'll be back in about 7 hours for Europe to kick off round 1 for themselves, and about 12 hours for North America. In the meantime, good luck to you all on the final day of qualifying for the Bathurst 12-hour. I hope you enjoyed the IRL event, which is on over the weekends. Next week, we're obviously got the week off, a few practice races in Bathurst, and then we're back for round 2 at Brands Hatch the following week. See you later, chat. Thanks for joining us tonight. See you next time. Thanks, mate.